Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Joe Bowen and Jimmy Ralph standing by, getting set for their accounts and descriptions. Seattle in town tonight. Coach's comments brought to you by Honda. Score a $1,500 Honda bonus on the CR-V LX. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com. Coach Berube, as he spoke earlier today, starts with Liljegren, but then goes into the ice time issue with Nylander.
Well, I think there's, looking back at training camp, I think guys just outplayed him a little bit, but he's got ability. He can, skate, move a puck. I wish him all the best. It just didn't work out here. That's the best way I can put it.
Understanding that every game, different situations happen, it can't always be exactly what you want, but what would be your ideal ice time for William Nylander?
I don't focus on ice time so much. I get Willie out there quite a lot. A lot of key situations, obviously, but, at the same time, I've said this all along, we want to be a good team. Everybody needs to be involved. So I try to get Willie out there as much as I can. Yeah.
He says he'd like to play more. How do you handle that?
I have no problem with it. And I do try to get him, more. We talk about it, and he killed penalties last year. He's not killing penalties this year. So, a little bit of ice time there, that's off, so, what I do is I try to get him out there, if deserved, as much as I can.
What do you think of this Kraken team? They filled the net the other night in Montreal.
Well, they're a very quick team. They play fast. They got some real quick forwards with some skill and ability. They got a good record on the road, 3-1. So, we just got to focus on our game and bring what we brought to Winnipeg 5-on-5.
How have you liked Auston and Mitch killing penalties together?
I think they've done a good job. I think that they understand the system very well, and they've been very good at it.
What do you think it means to the league that they have a female coach on the bench?
What do I think it means to the league? Well, not when I played, but I do now. It happens in a lot of sports, right? So it's eventually going to happen in hockey. So it's great. I got no problem with it.
Have you crossed paths with Jessica? No, she said yesterday she's seen some coach through the years of the Coaches Association. Have you crossed paths with her at all?
I haven't yet. So, at some point I probably will. I can't answer that right now.
Craig Berube going down some odd roads there with the questions, but nonetheless, I don't know how to follow that up with, other than, in a normal situation in this market, if a player says he wants more ice time and the coach gets asked that can blow up. That could be a major flare. But Craig really handled that nicely.
Yeah, he did. And he gave a reason. He said, well, he's not killing penalties this year, and last year he did. So In any other market, I think it would probably be a bigger story. But if the team was struggling a lot more, I think it even would be a big story. But I think for Nylander, he's stating his case. He wants to play more. But again, there's analytics and there's video, and they're trying to put him out there and deploy him where they feel he's going to be the most successful. And sometimes, we've seen in years past, the forwards are playing 22, 23, 24 minutes. That's way too much, playing out there tired. And we saw in a couple games in overtime where when you're tired, you're prone to make some big mistakes. So the fact that he's a winger and not a centerman, he's not out there taking face-offs in certain situations. They have some great penalty killers in Lorentz and Holmberg, and you're seeing Matthews and Marner. But for ice time, and especially on the penalty kill, you earn that in your practice habits and doing that. So for him, he just got to continue to work. But you're still playing 18 minutes a night. So you want to get to 20 right now. That might not be where you need to be, because you want to peak and really bring your A game in the playoffs. So who knows, for the first 20 games you might be at 18, they get you to 19 for the next 20, and then the final, that's where you get to 20 and ride into the playoffs. So for me, it's a nothing burger. He says he wants some ice. Berube said, well, when you get on the penalty kill, maybe you'll get it, and that's the end of the story.
I would look at it this way also. If you have an NHL roster and there's even one guy who doesn't want more ice time, that's the guy you move.
I want more ice. I've been retired now for 15 years, and if Jacques Martin played me, we would have made the playoffs. But that's how it is. There's that competition. But the one thing I can tell you right now, you need balance. You need your bottom six getting involved in the game. And when your top guys are, and that could be a symptom of maybe why the power play is struggling, because you have Matthews and Marner killing. Maybe they're tired now when they go over the bench for the power play. So I think you need an element of rest for some of your big guys as well. But for Nylander, I think you'll see his minutes go up. But he's performing right now. Why would I be upset? I got my money. I got my term. I got a point a game. The team's having some success right now. I think there's no need to rock the boat at this point if I'm him.
I think if you have 23 guys in your NHL roster, everybody wants to do more and contribute more, and that's how you win. You mentioned power play, so there were good looks. They've sort of been subdivided into two. I don't know if I want to say equal units, but it's been sort of spread out in terms of who's on the units. The coach was happy with how it looked in the first period against Winnipeg. Then they didn't get a sniff the rest of the night. Is this the night something happens?
Well, on the Leafs guy show today, I think I predicted 2 power play goals.
Yeah, yes, you did.
I slept on it. I still have the same faith. I think what we can agree on, there's too much talent on this team for them to be struggling as much as they are. And they have the ability, we know, and they can go off for 3-4 power plays and go for a 50% clip over, say it's 10, 15 power plays. So I expect them to come out of this slump a lot sooner than later. But splitting up these two units, what it does now, it creates that competition where Craig Berube talked about that accountability. So if power play 2 goes out there, they score a goal or they maintain momentum, I would not be surprised to see them start another unit. So those two guys split up, those 2 units, it gives a little bit of talent. It has a net front presence in Matthew Nyes on that top unit. I expect him to be right on top of that goal, tipping pucks. Same thing with Tavares. But that accountability, you have to be mixing things up, and you can't be resting on your laurels. And that's why Craig Berube has put those lines in a bit of a blender as of late.
It is interesting that 2 different coaches in 2 different years started to tinker with Morgan Rielly not being on the number 1 unit, and they both go back to him.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that just goes about his business. And what I notice, he brings his A game when it really, really counts, right? So I could expect him being a long-term constant on that first unit. But again, call me old school. I like seeing 2 defensemen at the top running the point there, because again, it's a little bit too predictable with that winger coming downhill. Is he going to pass cross seam? More times than not, he's not shooting that puck. So when you have those 2 guys up there, it's D to D. If there's nothing there, you're shooting it through traffic, through sticks, or you're going D to D, back to D to pound it. So I would do that if I was coaching, but that's why I'm up here in the booth talking and not running that power play. But again, I want to see a little bit more variety, but simplistic when the going gets tough. More pucks on net. So I expect Rielly now with some practice time and some more reps. That has been an issue as well. They haven't practiced as much the first part of the season. I'm sure now they're going to get a little bit more reps, a little bit more practice, and that's going to lead to success with this power play units.
Well, the one thing I'm sure we'll agree on is 2 for 32. That percentage is just not going to, or 3 for 32. That percentage is just not going to hang around.
Yeah, does that look better if you convert that to percentage? Like what is that? What is it?
What's that, like 10%?
10%.
Something like that.
We're working on it. It's getting better.
Ridiculous.
But I'd rather them now, second half, they're clicking now at 36%, and they're leading to the playoffs. And that's when it matters most. So, again, there's going to be some adversity with this group. New coaching staff, new system, new power play general. As well, so there's going to be some growing pains, but with this talent, I expect somebody to put this power play on their back and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to make that big play. I'm going to get that puck retrieval, or I'm going to put that puck in net, score that big goal at the right time. And I think that's what's been most painful for this power play, as it's lost momentum and it had a chance to get them into games, to tie a game or to win a big game in the third period. So that's where I want to see it improve, the timing of it and really having it peak at the right time.
Let's play a variation of yes guy, no guy. Yes guy being the positive, no guy being the negative, which is really hard to understand. But your yes guy on the Maple Leaf roster this year, what gets a yes guy?
Yes guy, because at different times there's been different heroes on different lines. And in years past, if Matthews and Marner weren't going along with Tavares or Nylander, it was they're losing that game, after that first period. But you've seen Lorenz have some big games. McMahon has scored some big goals as well too. Robertson had a really good preseason, but he's had some moments. Max Domi, he's leading the team, I believe, in points as well too. So the bottom six has had different heroes throughout the night. That's why I feel positive about this group.
What is the no guy?
The no guy is the long-term perspective of Joseph Woll, right? He was a guy that if another 10, 15 games starts, I think he would have got over the hump where he knew exactly what he is. Yeah. And the fact that we're questioning him coming back from a couple injuries, I think Stolarz, again, it's a little bit of a, what is it? We know he's been playing really, really good, but his body of work throughout his career hasn't shown him to be a number one. So I really am curious to see, does Woll step up? And how does he do now when he's now getting 2 starts in a row, or it's a big, big game or a back-to-back, and can he regain that 1B? Right now he seems like he's the number 2. Can he get back to 1B or 1A before, the quarter point or the midway point of the season?
Yeah, so when the season started, we didn't have a lot of concern there, but the numbers just didn't back up that positive nature or the positive thoughts. But so now as the season starts and Woll goes out with the injury, it's all revisited, and we don't know exactly where it's going to track. I don't think there's a lot of open concern about it, but you still have to see it to believe it.
Yes, and our job, it's trying to be as even keel as possible. But that, if there's something I had to pick on what could be a big, big issue down the line, I think it's the consistency in the goaltending. Because what I don't want is Stolarz now. He's got to play, say it's 65-plus games. Woll's hurt. You got to bring up Hildeby. He's thrown to the Wolves. And then now Stolarz falters in the playoffs where it matters most. So that's what I'm fearful of. But again, there's a lot of time. Time will obviously tell right now. But I think there's a lot more positives with this group than negatives so far, especially after that win against the Winnipeg Jets.
I'll tell you where I would put my yes guy, and that's on the blue line. I really like it. I like how it's mapped out with the contracts, and when they extended McCabe, you just look at that chart and you go, okay, these 5 guys are here for a while, and I don't think we haven't said that for a long time. And the 6th guy, there's a lot of competition there. It could go in many different ways, but the bottom line is there's depth there. I just haven't been this confident with that blue line for a number of years, but I am now.
It's great. And, talking about Jake McCabe, and we've discussed this, you don't notice him. And that is probably the best adjective in describing a defenseman. Just goes about his business, makes the simple right play every single time, doesn't necessarily get caught in his zone for 30, 40 seconds. So he is a number 3, number 4 defenseman. And to get him at a cap hit of 4.5 and change, that is a great piece of business by the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Benoit, he's been up and down, but he's been solid. So what I like, and I'll add a yes guy, I like that as opposed to last year or the last couple of years, they got to add 3, 4, 5 guys. 1 or 2 will really complement this roster.
We'll set up the opening face-off for you next. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Monday nights are hockey nights. That's right. There's a new exclusive home for the NHL, and it's on Prime. All season long, Prime Monday Night Hockey is delivering unreal plays.
That's hockey, baby!
And the biggest goals.
What a goal!
Matthews, McDavid, Crosby, and the NHL's best are ready for Prime. So don't miss it. Prime Monday Night Hockey. It's on Monday. It's on Prime.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never, never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
For a limited time, switch to Shopify Point of Sale, and you could save up to 20% and improve your bottom line. Shopify is so serious about savings. They've made this commercial 20% shorter. That means you get 6 seconds back. Here it is. Just enough time to visit shopify.com/POS20. Now that's an efficient commercial.
Eligibility requirements apply. Details at shopify.com/POS20.
The housing crisis in the GTA has reached a critical point, with more than 2 in 3 residents being affected.
Reporting that almost 9 million Canadians are living in food-insecure households.
Over 1 million people in the GTA now live below the poverty line.
We're just out today. Mental health support is the #1 reason people are calling 211 for assistance.
At United Way, we wake up to a different alarm every day. Help us end poverty and build a better GTA any way we can. Donate today at unitedwaygt.org.
A market correction for the Leafs in Winnipeg Monday night. Tonight they host Seattle. The Kraken had an easy time the other night in Montreal. And then there's the Leafs power play. Still silent, but 5-on-5 play is much better. So what happens tonight? Is it time for the power play to take off? Could be. Let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Oh, yes, they do. And at home to the Seattle Kraken tonight. Welcome to Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Joe Bowen and Jimmy Ralph standing by. Projected Leafs lineup tonight. Auston Matthews centering Marner and Nyes. Tavares centering Nylander and Pacioretty. Domi centering Holmberg and McMahon. Camp centering Robertson and Lorenz. And on the blue line, Morgan Riley, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, McCabe and Tanev, Benoit and Connor Timmins, and Joseph Wall starts in goal. Stu, what do you make of all that?
I think it's a pretty good lineup. Robertson gets another opportunity to get to show what he can do, and I think for him it's just about consistency. And I really liked John Tavares' line last night, last game versus the Winnipeg Jets. 9 points with John Tavares leading the way with a hat trick, and that's what I think you need with this group, a little bit more balance. Every night, every one of your top guys aren't going to be able to go, but to get that secondary and tertiary scoring and guys stepping up, that's the way Craig Berube wants to have his team play. A lot of balance, a lot of guys participating and getting involved in the game.
And sometimes it's a little step up, a little chip, just to keep the play alive. And Pacioretty did that really well, didn't he?
He did, and he said it himself. He's most effective when he's moving his feet. And he's not the fastest guy or the fleetest of foot, but he does got some size, and he can make a difference physically. So on a lot of those goals, he's going out there, getting it on the forecheck, turning a puck over, and making that great pass as he did to Tavares on one of those goals as well, too. So for Nick Robertson, I don't want to see him pretend to be something that he's not. He's a guy that is a high-flying guy, shots off the rush, but maybe get in the corners a little bit more, get to the net, try not to score those pretty goals, because we know he can pull the trigger really, really well. So consistently, I just want to see a lot more volume, a lot more shots, and a start is key for the Maple Leafs tonight.
I mean, he played well when he was in before. It just didn't, he had to generate a goal or two, and that didn't happen, right?
Yeah, and I think for him it's the process, right? But again, when you have the adversity you've had the last couple of years with the injuries, it just seems that the smallest thing can sort of, take him off his game. So I think for him, just try to, get 3-4 shots a night, go to the net. But again, I really look for guys like his line mates tonight and Lorenz who can, make some plays as well. Camp to really start to feed him and give him an opportunity to do what he does best, and that's put the puck in the net.
So for the Skaters, that's the only lineup change. Robertson and Reeves out. In goal, Joseph Wall. So, I mean, they've really got to establish him, right? He's got to find his rhythm.
He does. And again, 21 saves against the St. Louis Blues in a 5-1 loss. You can't really fault him on many of those goals, but I think for him, when he's at the top of his crease, fronting the puck, not really scrambling, that's when he's at his best right now. But I expect the Maple Leafs to play a tight system, especially through the neutral zone. I'd like to see them keep the shots under 8 shots this first period. Let him settle into the game. Don't get into penalty trouble, but let him get into that rhythm, because when he's on, he's really, really tough to beat.
And we look for the Leafs to start fast as they did did in Winnipeg, because we know Seattle will, as they did in Montreal the other night. So that means the opening faceoff is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this NFL season.
The young gunslinger in Texas, C.J. Stroud, takes his Texans into New York.
What's up, insiders? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's Halloween. The Leafs, the Kraken. What better opponent for Halloween night, huh? I love it. Thank you all for being here. Please hit that like button down below and help us bring more Leafs fans here into the chat on TSI. As well, please share the link. Leafs fans, this is how we bring more Toronto sports fans to our amazing community, is by liking and sharing this out, because when YouTube gets external clicks from these link shares on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, they love it, and they send more people to find our awesome community and help us keep growing. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's have some fun tonight. No tricks, just treats. Let's get the W.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding meat stuff is going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs and the Seattle Kraken for the first time this year. And the starting lineup is brought to you by Molson, the official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Matthews line gets the call up front with Marner and Nyes on the flanks. The Leafs will start Jake McCabe on the defense along with Christopher Tanev, and it's Joseph Woll, who is 0-1-0 this year in a 4.08 goals against average, up against Joey Decourt, who is 4-1-1 for the Kraken, 2.80 and a 914 save percentage. The Kraken coming off a huge win in Montreal a couple of nights ago. So happy Halloween, everybody, and the puck is down in the Toronto zone. Kraken come out with it and in front of the net, got a shot away, it was blocked. Comes back to the point, a wrist shot taken by Alexiak, went wide of the goal and then deflects up and is covered up there by Joseph Woll.
Well, this is the seventh
meeting between these two clubs. Seattle coming into the league 3 years ago. The Leafs 5-1 against Seattle to this point,
which is better than what they were against Arizona.
Yeah, there are some other expansion-like teams that the Leafs have not fared as well.
Not nearly as well.
Technically, Arizona, Winnipeg.
Pacioretty gets to center with Nylander, who flips the puck into the right wing corner for him. He one-hands it back to the net for Tavares, who got it in front. And it was knocked away there by the Seattle defense. Kraken get it out at center and bring it in over the line with a drop pass on the far wing. Cleared into the corner by Beniers. And now around the boards on the left wing side, it's Riley getting it ahead. Nylander couldn't pull it away. The defense of Larson gets there for Seattle. And the Kraken are back in their own zone. I love the idea of the nickname. I think we've talked about this before. New teams that get a chance to kind of start from fresh. Now, the Utah Hockey Club, I understand, the situation they're in, but the Kraken, that was brilliant. Here's chance for Schwartz, trying to get it back to the point. He does, and a wrist shot right on is stopped by Wall. And they've had the first 2 shots on goal in this game. Played out at center ice. Alexiak gets it in on the right wing. A pass back into the slot, and a shot is deflected wide of the goal by Wall. Alexiak keeping it into the slot area. And the Kraken are buzzing here with Schwartz getting a shot at the net, and that was stopped. Puck is into the corner, and now the Leafs finally get Domi to get to it, and he launches a high pass to center that Robertson couldn't crack down, and it's brought back the other way by Cartier, and into the corner. He sends it around the boards. The Leafs getting it up on the wing, but they don't get it out ahead to where Robertson was waiting. And now a pass back by Cartier gets intercepted, and it's one-handed now by Lorenz for the Leafs into the zone. But he's not going to get very far. But there is Camp trying to bring it away, and it's sent back to the blue line, and a shot from the point by McCabe is the first test of Joey Decord, and he comes up with a chest save and smothers for no rebound.
Well, Joey Decord's first NHL win came against the Toronto Maple Leafs as a member of the Ottawa Senators. You can remember the story. Matt Murray was supposed to be the starter. Decord was brought up to back up. Murray got hurt in warm-up, and Joey Decord went in and led the Ottawa Senators to a 4-3 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I hope all of your trick-or-treaters are enjoying Halloween tonight. I know little Brody was all dolled up today. He's going to be getting his candy secondhand this year. What? 3 weeks old.
Oh, yes.
But I think next year he'll have a little sugar in him, so that's good. And Brooklyn and Caleb looking very sharp in their costumes tonight as well. Seattle with the puck at their own blue line. Play it in on the left wing side. Swept around the boards by Jared McCann. It comes to the near wing, and Marner is able to reverse the puck now for Riley. Riley gets it ahead for Nyes. Nyes battles hard and gets it out at center ice. Matthews in across the line. Double teamed as he plays it into the corner. And the Kraken will go back to reorganize as both teams are taking this opportunity to change. 3 minutes into the first period. Glad you're along with us. As Seattle gets to center ice, but the puck is turned over. Tavares couldn't come up with it initially. Battles to the left wing boards. Brought on now by Hayden. He gets a shot away that was blocked. Down into the corner, Burakovsky trying to play it around the boards, and it comes to the near side for Chandler Stevenson. Stevenson back at the blue line, just did keep it in. Avenue to the net, though, and a good blocking arm save made by Wall, who has looked very sharp here in the early going. And he's had to be. Tolvanen couldn't keep the puck in. Pacioretty got it back into Seattle territory. Kraken were looking for a penalty there as Tolvanen was knocked down by Pacioretty. Played down into the Toronto zone. Wall out of the goal to play it up on the wing for McCabe. McCabe goes cross ice. That misses everybody. And the Kraken have it under control in their own end. Fleury on the left wing and deflected down into the zone now by Mahura. Around the boards to the near side. It's punched up on the wing, and Domi starts out at center with Tanev taking the pass. Tanev sending it down into the zone. And icing call coming?
I think the puck might have gone up into the net. I'm not sure if that went off a Seattle player.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. Leafs might want to watch the point shots from the Seattle Kraken tonight, as defensemen scored 5 of the 8 goals against the Montreal Canadiens. Brandon Montour had his first NHL hat trick, not in the lineup today because expecting an addition to the Montour family. Nice. So we'll see if that means the Leafs get a break. Of course, he was part of the Florida Panthers Stanley Cup run last season. And I'm not sure what the delay is here. The officials are all talking.
The officials as to did it.
This might be just where the face-off should be. Did it go off a Seattle player? Or did the Leafs fire it up over the glass and into the mesh on their own? And they've decided that it was the Leaf error, so that's going to bring it outside the Seattle blue line, closer to center ice, the face-off.
Camp with Lorenz and Robertson, who is into the lineup. Ryan Reeves scratched this evening. And, of course, Timothy Liljegren is now a San Jose Shark, as it's played down into the Toronto zone and chipped along for Robertson. Robertson with a backhand pass at center. On the wing it goes, and Riley is able to pepper it down into Seattle territory. With the Kraken have it there, and they get it up on the wing. Brought out by Brandon Tanev, the younger brother of Christopher Tanev. And the Leafs have it now back of their own zone. Played out into the center ice area. Schwartz for Seattle as both teams are changing. We're approaching 5 minutes into a scoreless first period. Pass by Larson, gets up on the wing. Chris Tanev of the Leafs trying to go D to D, misfired there. Here's a chance now, round back of the goal, trying to come out, and it's knocked away. As Beniers was trying to move into the slot area, comes back to the point. Larson with a shot that deflects high and wide. And Marner now for Toronto finds McCabe on the wing, and a bank pass ahead and across the line. Nyes was knocked down but is able to get the pass into the slot, and then Marner sweeps in. And a whistle here and a penalty coming.
I think they're going to say that Matthew Nyes, this is just a missed call. I don't think Matthew Nyes touches the Seattle player. I think he falls on his own. And as Marner was about to skate in uncontested, Matthew Nyes, is it Nyes?
I love your thought, but they're giving it to Matthews.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Even Nyes didn't know.
No, I see it. No, it was Matthews taking down Jaden Schwartz. I was with you. I was with you, but
because it was Matthew Nyes that got up and protested. Yeah, I guess you got to call this one, don't you?
Yeah, it was a pretty good trip. So the first penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. They scored 3 times against Montreal. Pass on the near wing. Stevenson working down into the corner. Stevenson still with it. Drops it off. It's played back to the point. Now Fleury with a shot. Deflected wide of the net by Wall. Boy, they've just had 2 shots on Wall. I thought they had about a dozen, don't you?
I was surprised at that as well.
Marner gets it out over the line, and the Kraken go back to their blue line, and Fleury is there to organize in his own zone, and now starts straight up ice to center, drops the puck back. Bjorkstrand hits the Leaf blue line, fed in on the right side, but it's turned over. Leafs get it out, but not under control, and Seattle has it back under control in their own zone. Minute 6 to go in the power play. Brought on at center by Jordan Eberle. Played in over the line on the left wing side there by Evans. It comes in front of the net. A shot was deflected wide. Played off the boards then for Nyes. Nyes battles hard on the wall. Comes away with the loose puck. Trying to one-hand it out. Taken down on the play, and a penalty coming here to Seattle as it's shot down into the Kraken zone, and that will end the power play with 38 seconds left in it and afford the Maple Leafs with an opportunity of their own on the power play, which is brought to you by our Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today.
Boy, I don't think Steven Lorentz knew the penalty was being called because he had control of the puck and just fired it down into the Seattle zone. That ended up getting the whistle. You might have wanted to kill off a little more of that 38 seconds that is left in the Auston Matthews penalty. Although when you've got the puck in your own zone inside the blue line
and you're down
penalty,
a man,
and you're a penalty kill, you're probably not looking around to see if an arm's up.
Well, and the other thing is maybe you didn't hear a teammate.
Yep.
Domi and Nylander start up front, 4-on-4. Ekman Larsson and McCabe. And the draw won by Seattle, played by Borgen around back of his goal. Now into the near corner for Burakovsky. He is tied up. Puck comes along the wall. McCabe steps into his man to keep it in. Now Nylander coming out in front of the net. Had it go to the side of the goal. And where's the puck? Well, it's underneath something, and the official was rather slow to blow that dead. And while he wasn't blowing it dead, there was a lot of hacking and whacking going on at Joey Decord. Well, we go to the commercial. 20 seconds left to go in the first penalty, and the Leafs poised to go to the power play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
If you like yacht rock, you're gonna love Yacht Soul. A Sirius XM channel with the same.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Happy Halloween from Toronto Sports Insider. The Leafs and the Kraken bringing the heat. What's up, everybody? It's TSI Mike. Please take a minute to hit that subscribe button down below and let's have a fun Halloween. Don't forget to turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto sports game, as well as a lot of other sports action, like the World Series that we did last night. Having a ton of fun with over 17,000 people in the chat hanging out with us while the Dodgers wrapped up the World Series. Thank you for helping me create this awesome community. Please share the link and let's have some fun tonight on Halloween. Parents with the kids, be safe out there. Make sure your kids are safe. Check that candy. Let's have some fun tonight and enjoy the holiday. Back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Thank you for being here, everybody.
For the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Face-off coming in the Seattle zone. Domi and Nylander remain out there with McCabe and Ekman Larsson. And in 20 seconds' time, the Leafs will go to their first power play, at which point I'm sure we will see the number one unit come over the board.
As you said, Seattle was 7 for 32 coming in, but 3 of those 7 against Montreal 2 nights ago.
Here the Leafs with the puck in the offensive zone. A pass in front. Oh, and a big save by Joey Decord. Ekman Larsson sifted very quietly down to around the goal line area. And the backdoor pass. And Decord had to come across in a hurry.
That's kind of a wily old veteran move, isn't it? Ekman Larsson looking around. Everybody's focused on the puck at the left point, and he leaves the right point to go to the far post and almost has his second of the season.
Larsson playing it back behind. Final 4 seconds, and it's bounced into the Toronto zone, and now the Leafs go to the power play. Matthews out of the penalty box. He's going to drop the puck and bring it out himself. Matthews hits the red line and to the left wing side it goes now to Pacioretty. Played back to the point to Riley. Riley on the far side for Nyes. Nyes down to the half boards, got it in along the boards and sends it back now. And Riley has it at the blue line, walking the line again. Far side and a one-timer top. Rebound in front for Nyes, and Decord is there, and the one-timer from Matthews from that far spot. And Nyes was on the prowl for a rebound that did materialize, but only once.
That has not happened a lot in the early going on the Leaf power play, has it? Where a one-timer has been set up for Auston Matthews on the right side.
Played around the boards to the far side. Riley is able to keep it in. Pokes it into the near corner. And grabbed off by Seattle and sent out and down the ice. The Leafs in their last 5 games, just 1 of 16 on the power play. As Riley comes to center and drops it off for Pacioretty, who drops it back for Matthews. Matthews hits the line. Fed it into the right wing corner for Nyes. Nyes taken to the boards. Matthews after it. Now Nylander has it up against the boards in his skates. Nyes hoping to dig it free, and he has. Back to the point it goes to Riley. Riley looks to the near side, goes to the far side to Matthews, who mishandles the puck, and then in an effort to get it back to Riley, had to come out at center. Now Riley brings it in over the line. On the left wing for Nyes, dropping it back again. Riley as the penalty expires. A Marner wrist shot goes off a skate. Puck comes up on the wing, and now the Kraken get the puck out at center ice. Brought on by Beniers. A long pass into the corner, and losing an edge there was Jaden Schwartz as he crashes into the inboards feet first. Flipped in by McKay. Tavares in pursuit. Puck goes around back of the net. Tavares couldn't get to it. Now McMahon trying to keep it in, but it comes out at center. Tavares brings it right back in again. McMahon going to the front of the net, and a shot by Tavares went off a skate and went wide. Leafs now with 4 shots on goal, the same number. Well, not the same number anymore because Joseph Walls made an easy save on the far side. Again, I did color with my son the other day, and I sang your praises about being shots on goal accumulation department, and you are so good at that, and right there was a perfect example of how they changed.
Well, thanks, Joey. I appreciate that. It's, I guess something as a kid I was interested in. And you can follow your dreams.
Yes. Well, you know what? You're living proof of it. I love it. Yeah.
I'm living proof of a lot of things, aren't I?
Some useful.
Well,
not many, but some.
Name one.
Yeah, I think we're both in that boat, aren't we, as an icing call comes here against the Maple Leafs. 10:08 left to play in a scoreless first.
Boy, Chris Tanev right now, Joe, leads the National Hockey League. Coming into this game with 38 blocked shots. The Leafs' record is 176 from the 2013-14 season. Wow. And you're not going to know who it was.
Okay.
Carl Gunnarsson.
What?
Yes. Since 2005, 2006, Carl Gunnarsson is when they started recording blocked shots.
Yeah.
He is the all-time high in a season.
You think that is in jeopardy?
Well, I was talking to our buddy Stan, who brought that stat in before the game, and I said, are they sort of
turnover here for?
Cheers, insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight during the Leafs and the Kraken matchup. Now's the time to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Time to put that flag emoji out there for your country, city and state, city and province. Let us know all over the world where Leafs Nation is hanging out together right here on TSI. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for participating in the chat and firing it up. Now let's cheer on our buds and get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you in the chat.
Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew! Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Just for license 12616. Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me.
Hallis is excited too.
Lease the CRV LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Monday nights are hockey nights. That's right. There's a new exclusive home for the NHL, and it's on Prime. All season long, Prime Monday Night Hockey is delivering unreal plays. That's hockey, baby! And the biggest goals. What a goal! Matthews, McDavid, Crosby, and the NHL's best are ready for Prime. So don't miss it. Prime Monday Night Hockey. It's on Monday. It's on Prime.
Kevin McGuire in the house, the president of the Leaf Alumni Association, presenting one of our Armed Forces members with a Maple Leaf jersey. Oh, and by the way, you have to change the statistic. Tanev has another block shot already.
So 39 on the year already. We said, recording that specific stat, the Leaf record is 176 by Carl Gunnarsson.
Delayed offside. The Leafs have to tag up. Going back for it is Will Borgen. And he stands behind the Seattle goal. No score, 5 shots apiece. And a deflection down into the Toronto zone with Joseph Woll sending it around the boards quickly to Marner. Marner looks up ice, plays it ahead for Matthews with Nyes. They go wide. Matthews now dropping for Riley, and a shot was blockered into the corner by Decord. And the puck along the near boards goes back at the net. Nyes trying to get it in front. Unable to do so, and now it comes back along the boards. Marner comes away with it. Into Matthews, closing with a shot. And closing the 5-hole there was Decord just in the nick of time. Riley goes D to D on the far side. Gets it back now to Marner. Marner works at the blue line, still with it. Works to the wide side, still with it. Had it knocked out into the center ice area. He'll go back and give it off to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Up ahead, a tip pass across the line intended for David Camp. Didn't connect. And the Kraken get it out at center ice. Pass by Tanev to the left wing side is broken up at the blue line. McCabe banking the puck up on the left wing for Lorenz. Lorenz to David Camp and across the line for Robertson. Back to Tanev, and a shot that was blocked before it reached the front of the goal. And the Kraken will get it out into neutral ice, and a layup down into the Toronto end goes down the ice, and it's icing. And I think a lot of the fans thought there was going to be a penalty to McCabe because the linesman put his arm up, and there was a bit of a groan there, and then it turned out to be wrong guy.
Well, I think it was Brendan Tanev thought it should have been a trip more than anybody else. He is still discussing it with the officials, skating all the way back into the Leaf zone.
Macedonian family from Scarborough. And the Tanevs. Brandon is the younger brother, I think about 2 years younger than Chris.
It's going to be great for the relatives to finally get to see them both play without having to fly across the continent.
Long shot goes off a stick and up into the screen and out of play. Yeah. Home game for the Tanev family. Wonder how many seats that cost.
Yeah, who'd be on the hook for it?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There's a great... That's got to be divided somewhere, eh? A point shot blocked in front of the net, trying to get it in front, turning away from it. Riker Evans got struck with the puck and is limping a little bit as he works in front of the goal. Now back of the net goes McMahon. A shot and swallowed up by Decord, and he's going to hold on. And limping a little bit here is Riker Evans. And he's going to the bench.
Actually, the Leafs have won 5 of 6 games against the Kraken. Mitch Marner has 13 points in those 6 wins. Marner and Matthews have gotten at least a point in all 6 meetings between these two clubs.
Marner leads the Leafs in points with 11, 10 of which are assists. Tavares, who had the hat trick the other night, wins the faceoff. Back to the point. Wrist shot coming. Blockered away nicely by Decord. And the Kraken will get it out at center ice. Jared McCann in on the wing, and a shot blocked there. Another shot stopped by Wall. And it's grabbed off by Riley, who gets it up on the wing. Leafs go D to D with it now, and Ekman Larsson finding Tavares across the line. Flipped it in from Nylander. Oh, and a pass to Pacioretty, and he one-timed it just wide of that far post. Best scoring chance the Leafs have had. Tanev for the Leafs getting it ahead. Pacioretty in on the left wing, dropping there for Nylander. Back in for Pacioretty. Pacioretty stumbles, the puck goes free to the far corner. Pinching down on the far side was Timmins, but the Kraken are able to restore it, and they start away at center. Cross the line for Schwartz. Schwartz can't get in front of the net cleanly, and the scramble for a loose puck, though, grabbed off, and a sharp angle shot by Bjorkstrand was off the side of the goal. Kept alive by Seattle with a shot in traffic that deflects into the near corner. Larsson trying to get it in front. Played away there by the Leafs. Benoit comes back to the point on the right side. Bjorkstrand with a shot. That deflected wide. Rebound back on the boards for Bjorkstrand again to the point. Kept in by Larsson. Left wing side, a shot off the goal post and wide. Rebound near side. Great pressure here from Seattle. Shot in traffic. Blocked there by Wall. Traffic knocked down in front of the net as Benoit took his man down, and the Leafs finally get a handle on the disc and get it out at center. Now Matthews across the line, sending it to the net. And the glove hand of DeCord scoops that off the ice to prevent Nyes from having a chance on the right side.
I tell you, it's no surprise that Seattle scored 5 of their 8 from the point against the Montreal Canadiens. They're hammering everything from the blue line and always have traffic in front. Jaden Schwartz, the latest, looking for a redirection and rebound.
No score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday, November 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern. And while the nation...
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight on Halloween for the Leafs and the Kraken. The Create 100K campaign for SickKids has reached its conclusion. Last night on the World Series game, we picked up 4 new donations to SickKids Hospital. It's dreams come true over here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the coolest thing in the world. I talked to Jordan at SickKids this morning. We're starting to put together the plans for our next big campaign in the winter. Big focus on the Leafs and doing it again, having a lot of fun. We are over $4,000 raised already towards SickKids as a community. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for letting me create this and helping me create this awesome community and do big things for SickKids Hospital, which is near and dear to my heart as well as I know all of yours. Let's get back to the hockey. Thank you all so much. Cheers. Go Leafs, go.
Carmen and me for the first radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
5:57 to play. In the first period, it is scoreless. And the draw coming to the right in the Seattle zone. Domi with Robertson and McMahon, a centering pass, and that was whipped wide of the net.
Well, Nick Robertson would love nothing better to find himself on the score sheet tonight. And after being a healthy scratch for the first time this season on Monday when the Leafs were in Winnipeg.
Well, he started on the 4th line, and now he's on the 3rd line. So Coach Berube has juggled things already. Draw won by Seattle. Whipped around the boards past McCabe, and Tanev will get back in time to have an icing call here against the Seattle Kraken.
Right now it looks as though Pontus Holmberg and Robertson have switched spots. I mean, you've seen it, throughout your career broadcasting. How many times you get somebody that say was a goal scorer in the American League or in junior hockey? They get brought up. They play 7 or 8 minutes a game for 4 games, get sent down, and you say, boy, he didn't do much.
No.
It's a little different than the 17 to 20 minutes you were getting from the team you came from.
Seattle at the red line. It'll launch it high into the Toronto zone. McCabe goes D to D. Tanev outweights the forecheck and now skates back of his own goal with 5:22 to play. Scoreless first period. On to McCabe. At center on the left wing for McMahon. McMahon shot. Glove save and a good one made there by DeCord, who snapped out that left hand rather authoritatively, I thought.
Now, did you watch the ball game last night?
Some of the catches there weren't done really well,
no.
were they? Now, in all fairness and honesty, couldn't happen to a nicer bunch. I'm not a Yankee fan.
No, you're a Red Sox fan?
Yes.
I just wanted it to go 7.
Did you?
It was one of those, yeah. I didn't have a horse in the race or anything.
Well, my goodness, talk about self-destructing. And what's the first thing they do at spring training? Covering first base on a ground ball to the first baseman. First thing, without even throwing a pitcher into that drill.
Or even catching a ball.
Okay, that one too. Rolls down into the Seattle zone. Played along the boards. Centering pass by Nylander comes to the near boards, but it'll bounce over the glass and go into the first row. And a young lady in a Leaf jersey has gone up the stairwell and has got herself a souvenir.
Morgan Riley with a goal against the Winnipeg Jets, his 30 year. The Leafs have 4 from their defensemen so far this season. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is the other one. And Seattle had 5 from the defense last 2 nights ago against Montreal.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Riley breaks up the rush. Played around the boards to the near side. Riley is pounded into the corner on a good hit there by Cartier, and now it's around to the near side, and at the point kept in by Larson. Larson sends it back of the net. Riley almost tripped Tanev there, but didn't, and no penalty is forthcoming, but that was close. If he'd have gone down, I think it's a tripping call. A shot off the wing is smothered there by Joseph Wall as Ty Cartier got it away.
I think you like the way the Leafs have played defensively so far in this game, even though the Kraken are out shooting the Leafs 10-9. But most of the shots coming from the outside. I think a couple have been for the slot in tight that Joseph Wall has looked sharp on. But we have to see
this is a big start for him.
Yes.
Jimmy. Very big.
But the Leafs did give up a ton of odd man rushes against him when he got his first start of the year against St. Louis.
Marner to center and now shoots it in. DeCord couldn't trap it back of the net. Matthews after it, but the puck comes back to the blue line. Marner kept it in momentarily, but now hustles back to take the disc away and now starts back up ice. Marner in on the left wing. Stops up now, trying to chip it in there for Matthews. Matthews couldn't come up with it. Eberle will get it out for Seattle. Left wing side for Alexiak. Drop pass Alexiak to the front of the net, but the blocker of Wall got in the way of that shot, and the Leafs start out now with Nyes. He's in a Lone Ranger rush, hauled down from behind.
Wow.
Apparently not. I guess it was a legal check. Into the corner it goes, and now here's Timmins. Left wing pass off the skate of Camp, and played by Seattle back to the Toronto blue line. They ever decide to give the hometown broadcasters whistles, I'll tell you what, this game is going to improve. Down into the corner it goes. I'll loan you it every once in a while because you have a real discerning eye too. Left wing side for Riley. Cross ice pass was intercepted, and Bjorkstrand then couldn't get it out. Leafs back after it into the corner. Lorenz back of the net and around the boards far side. Timmins pinches to keep it in. Camp in the near corner. Cycles it back around, and it'll be Timmins once more at the half boards. Playing it back to Lorenz. Backhanded high off the glass behind the goal. Near side. Alexiak in after it, but now grabbed off by Pontus Holmberg. Coming in front of the net. Timmins to Holmberg, a shot stop. Another pass. Over on the wing, it comes a pass and a one-timer. Big save by DeCord off David Camp. Fourth line is buzzing, ladies and gentlemen. Here's David Camp passing in slot. Block. Ekman-Larsson hopes to keep it in and does. Leafs are getting a change going as they do. Pontus Holmberg working back of the net. Holmberg one-hands it into the corner. Tries to center, but he had it roll off his stick. Cleared to the line, not out. Pass and a shot there by Ekman-Larsson is stopped by DeCord. But what a shift by the Leafs' fourth line.
As you mentioned, that was put together, this line, the switch between Holmberg and Robertson. And Holmberg was a big part of that shift, winning the battles along the boards. And this really is how the Leafs are able to handle the Winnipeg Jets on Monday night. Get pucks deep, win the 1-on-1 battles, all those old cliches, and score some ugly goals.
2 minutes to play in the period. No score. Seattle gets it out too far for Adam Larsson. Leafs backpedal in their own zone to come up with it, and Tanev with a lead pass from McMahon. He's driving the net. McMahon in with a pass in front, and Robertson had his stick lifted just at the last second. Seattle back the other way to the far boards for Burakovsky. He's knocked down, and the Leafs break it 2-on-2. Robertson and over the line, stops up at the blue line. Tried to find Domi, who was coming down the slot. Domi is able to come away with a loose puck, but his pass was deflected, and it comes to center ice. Seattle will regroup back in their own zone. Minute 20 to go in the period. Brought out by Yanni Gourde. Gourde's pass on the wing, broken up. Tavares drops it back in a lead pass for Pacioretty. Was deflected just at the last second, or Pacioretty might have been in all alone. So a face-off is coming in the Seattle zone with a 1:06 to play in the period.
I believe out of the 6 that the Leafs scored, which included the empty net by John Tavares, but 5 of the 6 were created on dumping the puck in and then going in on the forecheck. And I think it's great that we haven't seen the Leafs start to cheat here, because it's a home game where they're going to try to pass their way through everything.
Puck into the corner off the face-off. Pinned up against the boards. Dug out now by Seattle. Adam Larsson will alley-oop it through center. Good play on the wing to keep it in. Brandon Tanev winds and shoots. That deflects high into the near corner. Played by Timmins up on the left wing. Pacioretty. A long rink-wide pass for Nylander. Nylander into the corner, tried to find Tavares driving the net. Puck went around back of the goal, and Seattle with skating room gets it out at center, but the turnover comes into the neutral zone. Here's Nylander working in on the left wing. He's by himself, but he got a backhander away. And realizing there was no support coming down the slot, Nylander just tried to get this one on goal. Didn't quite have the Dave Keon backhand going. Then again, I don't know has anybody ever had, since Dave Keon, a backhand the way he could shoot it.
Now, what was the curve on his stick? Was it pretty
as
straight?
An arrow.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I'll ask you to maybe try to find one of those from a player that's playing the game right now.
No kidding. You know who had a really straight stick, though? Was Doug Gilmour. Draw one by Seattle. A dozen seconds left. The Leafs are going to get a face-off in the offensive zone as an icing comes. 8.1 seconds remaining here in the period.
I thought Matt Sundin was pretty good, but he was great on that big move forehand to backhand to bring his stick across his body and then be able to roof the backhand up top. But I know what you're talking about, which is guys just coming in on a backhand.
Here's Matthews winning the draw. And a man in front of the net. They score! Matthew Nyes with 4.7 seconds. The centering pass went to Marner, and he makes one of those delicious little passes of about 3 feet, and Nyes had 4x6.
Nyes had 15 last year. He's got 6 already this season. But Auston Matthews does it all, wins the draw by pushing the puck forward. Throws it across the top of the crease to Marner. And Marner just bunts it back towards the middle of the ice, where Nyes snaps it past Joey to court. And you know what? It's a great goal. But if the pass is redirected or off a skate, we'd be saying, you got to shoot that if you're Mitch Marner.
No, you don't.
But because it worked, we're going.
No, you don't. You really don't. You just don't.
Okay, let's see if it happens again in the second period. But
it didn't, did it?
Yeah.
No.
Remember, we've
don't
seen
argue with success.
No, as long as it's success. But I'm saying, if it's not, it's our job to dissect.
Really? Oh, that's your job.
Well, technically.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
That's kind of an add-on responsibility.
Are we done here? Good. I believe so. 1-0 Toronto. A goal by Nyes from Marner and Matthews at 19:45. And we'll ship it off to Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart to dissect even further. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Comedy Central Radio brings you the biggest names in comedy. All day long, you'll hear the best stand-up comedy from Comedy Central's massive library.
If you ever ask an adult what they did over the weekend and they say they didn't do anything, their faces light up.
Every weeknight, you'll hear 2.5 hours of comedy for your drive home.
The other day, I got jealous of a dog's thigh gap. I'm not proud of that.
Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. Your home for incredible stand-up comedy. Search comedy on the Sirius XM app.
What's up, Insiders? What a night already. 1-0 Buds taking it to the break with a nice goal right at the end of the period. Those are always the best. Absolutely awesome. Sean Price, take it easy, man. Great to see you, mate. Awesome being back here. And hey, quick shout out. The link that I just pinned in the chat, go check it out. It is the most amazing YouTube channel I have found in a long time. If you're an insider, if you're a Leafs fan, you need to go subscribe to this channel right now. Leafs Jelly HD. They sync up the highlights with Joe Bowen's call. Get on it. Go click that link and go subscribe to that channel right now. Let's send a bunch of insiders over there to help them grow, because holy cow, they're putting the goals up like a few minutes after. They might even load this goal up by the time I'm done talking. Go Leafs, go. Mark Duffney in the chat. Good to see you, man. Holy Mackinac, Brad Smith. Mike St. John. Is it St. John or is it St. Jean? I can't remember. I think we clarified this once before, but I don't know. So I wanted to give a shout out here to the SickKids donation to Alice. Thank you for that donation, Alice, whoever you may be. That is awesome. There's Bob. Hey, you. Yep, I'm talking to you, Bob. It worked, didn't it? Good to see you, my man. Thanks for hanging out with us. And as well, tonight, the Super Chats. Alex H. and Jose Duarte. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for the Super Chats. The support is amazing. That's why I can do what I do in creating this awesome fan club of Toronto sports fans. My Holy Mackinac hoodie on. Go check out that website there, the YouTube channel, Leafs Jelly HD. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell. Over there. It's awesome. There you go. Dr. Dupree in the chat. Leafs Jelly HD. Well worth checking out. Leafs. Heck yeah. All right, guys. I am going to go keep handing out candy upstairs. I'm thinking about maybe jumping out of the coffin and scaring some kids. Kind of the older ones now that it's getting a little bit later. But I don't know. We'll think about it. All right, guys. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Refill those drinks. Cheers. This is my screwball is what it's called. Peanut butter whiskey. Okay. I ain't got to drive nowhere. My kids are grown up now. Not really grown, but I ain't got to drive anywhere. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go!
In the net. The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on.
TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Here's Matthews winning the draw. And a man in front of the net. They score! Matthew Nyes with 4.7 seconds. The centering pass went to Marner, and he makes one of those delicious little passes of about 3 feet. And Nyes had 4x6.
And that's why it's 1-0 for the Leafs over Seattle after 20 minutes of play. TSN After 20 is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Stu, that was a full skill. I mean, that's a top-line goal, right from the face-off win to the pass over to Marner to the pass over to Nyes.
Yeah, well, we talked about in the pregame about their top guys being great game breakers, and that was sort of a period where we're going to use the adjective nothing burger until they made a big play. And what an elite play by Auston Matthews. He actually had his hand folded up as if he was going to win the puck back. So what that does now, it puts his opposition thinking, okay, I just got to try to win it back. But he pokes it through. He makes a beautiful pass to Mitch Marner, who was just sliding in the slot there, standing there thinking as if maybe he could have put it in. But kudos to Matthew Nyes, that's been his bread and butter all year, getting to the net and tapping it in from a beautiful pass from Mitch Marner. So it was a great, great play. But that is what this team needs. At the key moments, their big players stepping up, and they got it done in the first last 5 seconds of the first period.
Well, really, it's gifted to them because Seattle ices the puck with 5 seconds left or 6 seconds left, and that's the hockey 101. Don't do that, and it burns them. And up until that moment, I mean, there was a lot of play. It was not that it was dull to watch, but there weren't a lot of grade A scoring opportunities.
Yeah, kudos to Seattle and the Kraken, and what they were doing was they were really clogging sort of the neutral zone and the entries for the Toronto Maple Leafs, so it forced them to make east-west plays, and we know when that happens, they can be prone to turnovers and the ire of Coach Craig Berube. But once they kept it simple, I noticed a couple shifts with the fourth line. They chipped it, they retrieved. That's their bread and butter. That's where they're going to be successful. That's what's going to keep them in games and wearing down that opposition. But Seattle, again, they turned it into a bit of a track meet. They are breakout machines, and they can really stretch that puck out. So Toronto's just got to be careful with that F3. We saw Riley turn it over there at the blue line, but he ended up recovering and getting a shot on net. And that's another opportunity. I'm sure we're going to discuss that as well for the power play. Now, if they score a goal there, it's 2-0, and you can sort of cruise your way to victory. So you need some easy wins in 82-game seasons. But, again, a positive first period, something to build on for Berube and the Maple Leafs.
I thought a lot of the Leaf opportunities were like shots, like one-off shots. Nylander, Pacioretty had a really good tip opportunity but couldn't finish it. Robertson and McMahon had one. The interesting thing for me was Robertson started on the fourth line, wound up in the third line, and Holmberg switched with him.
Yeah, and I think it worked.
Yeah.
Right? When Holberg got out there, they got in on a forecheck, and I saw it was him. I think it slid it over to Camp for that one-timer that almost made it 1-0. So kudos to Craig Berube. There's something that he may see, maybe a little bit more hop in the step, or maybe a guy thriving a little bit more on the cycle play. That's what's different, I think, in years past, where the coach is not afraid to make those adjustments shift to shift, period to period, game to game. So we'll see if it pays off. But I noticed Robertson, when he was up on that third line, getting a little bit more involved in the game, getting a lot more looks on net. And Holberg's fine. Holberg knows he's been a staple, I think, on that fourth line for a while. He knows what to do down there as well, too. So I think it's just more so trying to build chemistry through this first couple periods.
Does it make sense it's more engaging to play for a coach that's reading the situation and adjusting?
Yeah, because when you're sitting there and that coach is behind you, you're like, if I go out there and have a good shift, he's going to be accountable to myself, and he's going to put me out there. So if you're going shift to shift, and you might be up on the second line, third line, or on the fourth line, if you're not going, it forces you to get your game into gear, forces you to have a little bit more urgency and step, because there's a guy that might be coming on your line and bumping you down the lineup.
So the Leafs did have the one power play, but it wasn't a full power play because it came after their penalty expired and Beniers went off. So it wasn't the full 2 minutes is what I'm trying to say there. But still, what did you think of it?
Yeah, again, you have Nyes, right? And that was the worst for me. I was a net front guy for temporarily on the power play. But, again, you're taking that abuse. The least you want is some traffic and some shots coming through there. So I know they're setting up the big shot for Matthews on the flank there. But Riley, he had a couple times just to get that puck through, especially when you have that constant in front of the net, Nyes. And he's got some pretty nifty hands where even if he doesn't tip it in the net, if there's any rebounds in that crease, he can put that puck top shelf. You saw him there get a rebound and go between his legs, almost shelf it as well, too. So a little less hesitation get that puck, get some looks. You want to get 2, 3, 4 shots per power play. Just start just blasting it, and that's how you're going to get out of this funk.
So how big is that goal for the Leafs? I mean, it happens with 5 seconds left. It's a really good face-off play, set play type thing where it's executed well and it works. Going into the dressing room with that one goal at that time, that's got to be a big boost.
Yes, and remember, you're coming back from Winnipeg, you're traveling, and you got to practice in between, you're trick-or-treating and all those distractions. It could be a game where this could be an excuse game, saying, well, all these factors are factoring this to getting a loss, but they found a way to come up 1-0. And kudos to Joseph Woll, who made 12 saves. He seemed like he settled into the game pretty nice. He made 2 saves early. I don't think they caught a couple of those shots that went on net in the first 2-3 minutes there, but he seems dialed in. He's looking big on top of his crease, and he's making those hard saves routinely, easily, as he usually does in years past.
So I just want to go back to what you were saying about Seattle and how well they were playing. The Leafs did not panic. They were within themselves the whole period.
Yeah, they trusted the system. They didn't really panic. They were getting blocked and clogged in that neutral zone, but they didn't try to go end-to-end and turn the puck over at the red line. They did their best to get pucks below the dots and get to work there. A couple east-west plays where I'm sure Berube will mention that in the intermission report here. But, again, all signs are looking towards a positive outcome for the Maple Leafs through one period.
So it's 1-0 for the Leafs over Seattle after 20 minutes of play. It was DeCord stopping 13 of 14 at the other end. Joseph Woll stopped all 12. The Leafs did have a mini power play, but not effective that way in terms of getting the goal. Nyes got it with 5 seconds left, so 19:55 is what I'm trying to say. Set up by Marner and Matthews, and that's why it's 1-0 for the Leafs over Seattle after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Klomp, my man. What's up, Klomp? Good to see you, dude. Red Wings. How the Red Wings doing? How's it going down there in Detroit? For your, I know you're in North Carolina there, but oh my God! See, I'm still trying to get over this cold and sickness. I was gonna run upstairs and hand up some candy, but then I got stopped because Klomp showed up, and Duffney was looking for the Holy Mackinac link. I put it out there in the chat, so you guys check it out. It's Joe Bowen's merch line here, Holy Mackinac. Really cool. Go check it out. As well, go subscribe to Leafs Jelly HD. All right? I'm telling you, you guys will not be disappointed. If you're a Leafs fan, you will not be disappointed. That channel is friggin' awesome. All right. Mike. Love it, man. Chatting it up. Good to see you, Mike. Cheers. Back to the chat. Thank you for the super chats there, Alex, Howard, and Jose Duarte. Off to the candy handing out upstairs.
Asking you to add a donation to your to-do list.
Because our communities depend on it.
Because it's critical to my son's treatment.
Because you might need it in an emergency.
Make donating a life-saving habit. For patients and the people who love them, you'll make all the difference. Visit blood.ca to book a donation appointment at a Canadian Blood Services location near you.
Welcome to the press conference. We're thrilled to announce our team's latest acquisition, Google Pixel 9 on Bell. With Gemini, Google's all-star AI on Canada's fastest and most reliable 5G network, we're ready for a standout season.
Add Google Pixel 9 on Bell to your team. Get up to $800 off when you trade in an eligible phone. Learn more at bell.ca/Google or visit a Bell store. Bell. Smartphones just got better.
Shop early Black Friday deals at PetSmart. From October 28th to November 3rd, save $10 now and $10 later on select dog food. Save $8 now and $8 later on select cat food. Plus, save 20% on Greenie's dog treats. PetSmart, anything for pets.
TSN Plus is taking game day to a whole new level with NFL Red Zone.
Absolutely incredible!
Subscribe now for every touchdown from every game, every Sunday afternoon. NFL Red Zone, available on TSN+.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have out of town. St. Louis and Philadelphia Flyers 1-0 in the second period. It is the Ducks 1-0 over the Penguins. That's after 20 minutes of play. End of the first in Washington. Habs are there. It is scoreless. End of the first in Carolina. It is the Canes 4 and Boston 1. Getting set to start in mere moments. The Oilers in Nashville without Connor McDavid. And the Blackhawks will be in San Jose against the Sharks at 10:30. In our game, it is Toronto 1, Seattle 0 after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
If it's happening in baseball,
that's it! It's a World Series win for LA!
It's on MLB Network Radio.
Mookie Betts.
It's definitely a group effort. And winning a World Series is obviously a group effort, but it's just super special.
Clayton Kershaw, second World Series championship. What has this group of guys meant to you?
God, it sounds so good when you say it like that. Golly, it sounds good.
They've done it!
MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Joe Bone and Jim Ralph back with you as the Leafs own a 1-0 lead thanks to a virtual last-second goal. Well, 4 and change left in the period when Matthew Nyes converted a Mitch Marner pass and a Auston Matthews diligent piece of work to make it 1-0 Toronto.
And did we not discuss early on in the season that Matthew Nyes playing with Marner and Matthews, the comparable could be Zach Hyman to score goals like that, like the one he scored in Winnipeg, which was a rebound going to the net. And
Stick
even
in
though
the ice.
he scored,
be prepared for anything, any eventuality.
And I'm trying to go through the goals that he scored. The one in Columbus, he came out from behind the net. In Boston, it was a broken playoff, a skate, but he was right in front. I mean, all of his goals are coming from
where you expect them to.
Where Zach Hyman scored a lot of his 50 last year with the Edmonton Oilers.
And is looking for some this year.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Well, it is hard to repeat, whether it's Matthews or whether it's Zach Hyman.
They're just announcing the Nyes goal now. As it's played down into the Toronto zone, they defend the goal to our left here in the second period. Chipped along the boards. And Matthews trying to drag it out. Got it as far as the blue line. Nyes couldn't help him out, though. Now Matthews tries it once more. Eberle has it jammed up against the boards. And now Matthews Working it out at center to Nyes, and Nyes saucers it off to Marner. Marner across the line. Looks to make a pass into the corner for Matthews. Matthews plays it to himself off the corner boards. Chipped it around the wall to the near side and heads to the bench. Cleared deep into the zone by Ekman-Larsson. Now Tavares. Working the far side. Back in for Max Pacioretty. Pacioretty drags it along the boards. Had his stick lifted at the last second, but gets another opportunity at it. Now here's Pacioretty down into the corner. Nylander to Tavares. Back to the point. It goes to Riley. Near side for Ekman-Larsson. Can't shoot it at the net. Sends it behind the goal. Grabbed off there by Evans. He has a chance to move it up ice, and a bank pass at center is going to be swatted down on goal, and Wall will leave it there for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. OEL, as he likes to be called. Well, he is now because his name's shorter that way. Down into the corner now for Riley. A pass across, they score! A brilliant pass by Morgan Riley, and Willie Nylander is the beneficiary. 2-0 Toronto.
Great little drop pass by John Tavares, right wing side, inside the Seattle blue line. He drops it to Riley, who is full speed, heading towards the net, and looks across the ice and sees Willie Nylander wide open. But who makes this play, Joe? Bobby McMahon going to the front of the net.
Drawing two Kraken to him, right?
Two defenders, and Nylander smart enough to go to open ice, and the Leafs have extended their lead to 2.
McMahon knocked down on the play in the far corner. Nick Robertson now trying to get it freed up for Domi. Domi back to the point, and it bounced over the stick of Timmins, and he has to scamper back after it. Almost had it picked away, but he's able to come away with it again. Off McMahon's stick. Poked out at center ice by Toronto. Dropped back by Nylander into the zone. And now a pass off the boards, and Robertson in on the right side, dropping it back for Domi. Domi goes into the corner and plays it around to Robertson in the far corner. Pass back for Domi behind the net. Domi off on the wing now for McMahon. He can't come up with it and knocks his man down from behind. And the Kraken will get it out at center and chip it in off the glass into the Toronto zone. Robertson is first back, but he played it back in front of the net. The pass off the goaltender Wall, and it was laying there ever so tantalizingly long, but no one could get their stick on it for Seattle. Now the Kraken back into the attack, into the slot with a shot that's blocked. Pushed back up on the wing, but not out by David Camp. At the blue line, kept in by Mahura. Got it around back of the net. The Leafs get it out in front. That was a bit of a surprise for David Camp, and now chipped along the boards, but intercepted by Cale Fleury. His angle shot is handled easily by Wall. Robertson to center. Doesn't get it in deep. Leafs have started change, but would like it a little deeper than that. Mahura shoots it back into Toronto territory. McCabe saucered it along the boards. Out at center, Marner couldn't track it down. Kraken reorganizing in their own zone. Brought on by Riker Evans. Works to the line and in. Had it stolen. Marner unable to push it up the boards. He's got all three forwards there now as it does come out at center. And Larson for the Kraken will have it shot into the Toronto zone. Marner's pass didn't work. Now he does get it ahead, and Nyes will carry to center, only to be caught from behind by Brandon Tanev, and then it's brought in offside.
And there's going to be a hooking call, I believe. Is it going to be Tanev or Nyes?
Well, they got...
All right, holding the stick is going to be the call, and Matthew Nyes is the Leaf heading to the penalty box.
Second power play of the game for the Kraken.
Yeah, I mean, you got to call this. He had Tanev's stick kind of under his left arm. Sometimes actually draw a hooking penalty. And I don't think he was actually grabbing it. I just think he had it trapped under his left arm. Wouldn't let it go.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Leafs win the face-off, and right away it's lifted by Simon Benoit down the ice. Holding the stick to Matthew Knives. Incidentally, the Matthews penalty in the first period was the first infraction he's taken this year. Tolvanen got it back at the net. Leafs steal it back, but now unable to clear it down the ice was Benoit. Seattle goes D to D, left wing side. McCann with a shot drilled into the chest of Wall, and he smothers the rebound.
Well, people may not know that Jared McCann, who leads the Seattle Kraken in scoring coming into this game, was a Toronto Maple Leaf briefly. As Kyle Dubas had acquired him, and then they left him unprotected in the expansion draft, and that's where the Seattle Kraken were able to scoop him up.
Not a lot of Kyle Dubas.
No. Picks or trades are left. Yeah.
Left, yep. Draw to the right of Wall. The draw scrum. Camp is down on all fours with the puck underneath them. It's finally knocked free and pushed to center ice and down into Seattle territory by Steven Lorentz. Lorentz, the Kitchener native, after it as it comes up on the right wing. Evans comes through center ice and across the Leaf line. Into the left wing corner for Beniers. Beniers had it knocked around to the far side. Jordan Eberle trying to get to it and does, getting it back to the point. Seattle into the attack, dropping it back. Tolvanen into the point. Left wing side now for McCann on the right wing side. And the one-timer went whistling wide of the Leaf goal. Down back of the net once more. Trying to come out with it as McCann. Played off on the left wing side. It'll come back to the point. Beniers walks into the top of the circle and into the corner. Cycles it back along now for McCann. McCann to the point once more. Evans doesn't shoot it. Sends it to Eberle. Eberle being challenged here against the wall. Now back in behind the net. Eberle got it again. A centering pass hit a skate. Then another pass hits another stick, but kept alive. Here's Beniers. Far side. Trying to work in with a shot. Blocking arm save made by Wall, and a good one. Back to the blue line once more. Another shot in traffic. Blocked in front of the net. And shot by Christopher Tanev after blocking another shot.
You doing the math?
Not yet. I'm too busy doing the play-by-play.
I've seen you multitask many times.
Not once in your lifetime has that ever happened. Left wing side for Schwartz. Played down into the corner. Around back of the net. It comes to the side of the goal and then pushed into the corner once more. Schwartz back to the blue line. Kept in by Mohura. He'll ring the boards to the far side. The penalty has expired. Leafs are back at full strength, but have not been able to clear the zone. Nylander pushes it up along the wall, and it's going to be dragged by Tavares to center ice, and as he tried to find Nylander, the pass went all the way down to the goaltender, and it's cleared back down the ice, but no icing. Ekman Larsson to center, and some shoving right at the blue line there by Pacioretty and one of the Kraken. Around back of the net it goes. A hit there by Mahura. That's who were shoving with one another at the blue line. So Pacioretty gets the exclamation mark in the discussion. 12:48 to go in the second period. The Leafs have added to their lead 2-0. Played in over the line on the left wing. Rattled around the boards to the far side. It comes back to the point and then fed back of the net once more. Timmins hustling after it. So is Wright. Wright has it up against the boards, but his pass is intercepted by Domi. He gets it ahead to Robertson, who tried to bank it off the boards to McMahon, but that didn't work. Now Alexiak in across the line. A backhand pass went just through the goal crease and wide, and the Leafs get it out at center ice. Shane Wright lost it, and then it bounces into the Toronto bench and out of play. And Shane Wright, an interesting story. And COVID had so much of an effect on his career and everything else. He was still
projected to go first overall.
Yep.
And many thought he'd be a Montreal Canadian. He ended up in Seattle, and then some minor league time, which many people didn't expect.
It is a 2-0 Toronto lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall, From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight during the Leafs and the Kraken matchup. Now's the time to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Time to put that flag emoji out there for your country, city and state, city and province. Let us know all over the world where Leafs Nation is hanging out together right here on TSI. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for participating in the chat and firing it up. Now let's cheer on our buds and get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you in the chat.
Mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
The housing crisis in the GTA has reached a critical point, with more than 2 in 3 residents being affected.
Reporting that almost 9 million Canadians are living in food-insecure households.
Over 1 million people in the GTA now live below the poverty line.
Just out today, mental health support is the #1 reason people are calling 211 for assistance.
At United Way, we wake up to a different alarm every day. Help us end poverty and build a better GTA any way we can. Donate today at unitedwaygt.org.
Halloween night, and the ghosts and goblins are probably just getting in now. All of the teams have Halloween parties. What was your best costume?
Well, my favorite was Batman, but it was the Adam West, 70s, yes.
Oh. Which was much different than the Batman that people nowadays.
That's true, old chum. My son actually, a couple of years ago, got me the box set DVDs of the old Batman series. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And an offside at the...
That's what was...
Toronto Blue Line.
I will say this, though. I mean, I loved the show as a kid growing up, the TV series. And I said to my son, I remember there was one episode where it looked like Batman and Robin were done. They were going to be killed at the end of the episode. And I remember as a kid being 6 or 7 years old, stressed. I was stressed.
Absolutely.
Now, I watched the DVD set. Every show, they're almost dead at the end of it. Oh, no wonder I ended up the way I did.
Yeah, we're still wondering about that, aren't we? Here, the Kraken in the offensive zone, getting it back to the point. Long shot directed wide of the net off the stick of Will Borgen. And the Leafs, Marner chipping it out at center, and then Nyes muscles it in over the line. Couldn't get to it, though, and the Kraken organizing in their own zone. Marner ties it up on the near boards. Knocked down on the play, but got the puck free, and it rolls to the side of the net. And despite Nyes' best efforts to get there, Joey Decord has got a glove on top of it and covers up on it. And, of course, what my favorite horror movie was?
What's that?
The Ghost and Mr. Chicken.
Don Knotts.
That was scary, mister. The wall talked. And the organ had blood on it, and Bonami couldn't even take it off, according to one of the stars.
Bonami. Isn't that the mascot in Quebec City?
Yeah, I just heard Jimmy Holmstrom playing some rather ominous organ music, and I immediately thought of Don Knotts. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Back to the point it comes to Tanev. D to McCabe. Gets it back again. The wrist shot coming, didn't make it through. Tanev, or at least McCabe, getting it around back of the net again. Wrap around attempt by Tavares. Jammed out, and a good save by Decord. And it'll be played to center ice by Seattle. Leafs have to wait for teammates to get onside. Pacioretty does so. Now Nylander in on the right side. A pass in front of the net. A shot right on. Big save. Rebound for another shot. They score! Nylander, the beneficiary first of the Pacioretty effort. But what a great play by the former captain, John Tavares.
The Leafs relentless on getting the puck to the net. John Tavares had a couple of whacks at it, then had to turn and chase it out towards the hash marks. Ended up down on one knee. So what does he do? I'm going to throw it off to the side, and he finds Willie Nylander. It's almost the identical spot that Nylander scored from earlier in the period on the Morgan Riley feed. And the reaction from Nylander was, wow.
Wow.
He kind of put his glove to his face. But John Tavares, a spectacular setup to put the Leafs up 3-0.
Burakovsky in the far corner for Seattle. Gets it back to the point. Wrist shot coming. Blockered away by Wall. Grabbed again by Muhura. He tries to play it along the point. It comes back to the point. Another shot knocked down in front of the net. And the Leafs are going to play it off the boards to center. Clipped in there by Toronto into the offensive zone. David Camp in pursuit, and then Pontus Holmberg couldn't keep it in for him. Back comes Seattle across the line. Drop pass and a clearing attempt in front of the net, knocked away by Ekman Larsson. Down into the corner. Larsson goes after it again as it's come back to the point for Eberle. He'll drop it off. Oleksiak, a shot, the rebound! Huge right pad save, Joseph Woll. His best save of the game right there. 9:36 to play, second period. Lost in all of this is how workmanlike Wall has been. As another shot, the workman takes this one right in the belly button, and he'll hold on for a face-off.
Right now, Seattle on pace for a 40-shot night. But Joseph Woll, don't you love how he's back to out at the top of the crease, square, and the rebound control has been perfect.
2 goals from Willie Nylander, a single from Matthew Nyes. 3-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Each year, Eddie Vedder handpicks some of his favorite artists to join him at his Ohana Music Festival on the beach in Dana Point, California.
Are you ready, Ohana?
Hear this year's most unforgettable.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Happy Halloween from Toronto Sports Insider. The Leafs and the Kraken bringing the heat. What's up, everybody? It's TSI Mike. Please take a minute to hit that subscribe button down below and let's have a fun Halloween. Don't forget to turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto sports game, as well as a lot of other sports action, like the World Series that we did last night. Having a ton of fun with over 17,000 people in the chat hanging out with us while the Dodgers wrapped up the World Series. Thank you for helping me create this awesome community. Please share the link and let's have some fun tonight on Halloween. Parents with the kids, be safe out there. Make sure your kids are safe. Check that candy. Let's have some fun tonight and enjoy the holiday. Back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Thank you for being here, everybody.
Those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Steller.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Willie Nylander with a pair, but Matthew Nyes has got a nice little 3-game scoring streak, which is the longest that he's had in his career. And the Leafs own a 3-0 lead. Robertson in across the line for McMahon. Back of the net for Domi. Couldn't chip it along. Now McMahon tries to help out. Domi gets it to the side of the goal, but Cale Fleury is there, and he'll skate it out now for Seattle. Long alley-oop in on goal, bunted into the corner by Wall. 20 shots on goal for the Kraken so far. Into the corner, a centering pass, blocked nicely there by Connor Timmins. One-handed ahead, McMahon doesn't get it out. Pass goes off his body, and the Leafs Domi just gets it out at center ice. Riker Evans in on the right side. Benoit chases his man down around back of the net. The puck comes free and Domi has skating room to like and brings it out with a pass on the left wing. McMahon will dump it in and the Leafs are getting a change going here as the Kraken are back in their own zone. Will Borgen getting it ahead and down into the Toronto zone it goes. 8:20 left to play in the second period. And the Leafs with a 3-0 lead. Pacioretty in across the line with Tavares. Pacioretty dropping it back, but a little out of the reach of Tavares. He goes down into the corner. One hands it in front of the net, but Nylander couldn't get there. Cartier Starting out with a pass from Alexiak that goes astray. Way out of the goal was Wallace. Scoop it around back of the net, out of harm's way. And the Leafs get it out at center. Now Tavares working in across the line. Nylander will have a go around the boards as Tavares sent it in deep. Pacioretty sends it back. Leafs are changing. Matthews line coming over the boards as it's played out at center ice. Nyes regrouping it, but it got past Ekman-Larsson and goes all the way back into the Toronto zone. Up for Morgan Rielly. Quickly ahead on the right side for Nyes. Nyes playing it down in around back of the net. Matthews had it bounce over his stick. Nyes with a good hit on the boards, but the Kraken are able to break it out. Beniers getting it in on the right side. Eberle pass in front of the net. Beniers couldn't get his stick on it. Back to the point. It's kept in by Seattle. In on the far right wing at the top of the circle. Trying to work in there was Tanev, and that was blocked. It comes back to the point. Shot by Larson. Blocked in front of the net. Beniers hoping for a loose puck. Kicked it around back of the net. Beniers is tied up, and Ekman-Larsson has it, and he'll get it ahead for Marner. Marner with Nyes. A bank pass for Nyes didn't work. Puck comes back the other way. Matty Beniers in on the left wing. Rielly forces him wide and up against the boards. Ekman-Larsson couldn't come away with it. It comes back to the point. The shot! That was high over top of the goal. Rebound to Eberle. Eberle on the far half boards. Cycles the puck along for Jaden Schwartz. Schwartz back to the point for Fleury. Fleury into the corner, trying to work wide now with Stevenson, but couldn't get it in front. Stevenson with it on the far point. Looking for a man. Lays it into the corner. Ekman-Larsson trying to break it up, but it is back to the blue line. Mahura keeping it in with a shot, and that deflected just wide. One of the gloves of one of the players is over in the corner. A centering pass again. Back to the point. The Leafs under siege. Mahura back to the point and into the corner. Back to the blue line it comes once more. Borgen to the left wing side. Shot went off the skate of Matthews. He can't get it. The Leafs need to get this thing out somehow, even if it means an icing. And now they're going to be able to skate it out. And it'll be played in on the left wing. Steven Lorentz, who somehow got exchanged in all of that, was the freshest pair of legs the Leafs had on the ice.
You know what started that whole flurry for Seattle? The Leafs turning the puck over at the Seattle blue line. Came back the other way, and the Leafs were chasing the play for about a minute and a half.
Yeah, a little bank pass by Marner intended for Nyes, right? Now, Camp in the offensive zone, can't keep it in. Look out, a hit there by McCabe, stood up. Andre Burakovsky, who just did see it at the last second, or that would have been a rather important hit. Played down the boards. Nylander unable to keep it in. It'll force Timmins back, and an icing call coming here with 4:50 to play in the period.
Talk about the importance of winning faceoffs. The Leafs won 67% of the faceoffs against the Winnipeg Jets Monday. They're at a 57% success rate tonight. John DeForest, he was dynamite in Winnipeg, has won 5 out of 7 faceoffs already in this game.
Played out at center ice. Connor Timmins playing in his 100th game. Is able to free the puck up for defense partner McCabe, and it's played out at center for Robertson. Down the left wing boards and into the corner. Stops up to get away from one check. Back to the point it goes to McCabe. Trying to return the favor. Around back of the net it goes. McMahon getting it off to Domi. Back to the point. Timmins to the left wing side. McCabe shot! And that went just wide of the goal. At the point, Timmins had no chance to even look at the net. His man was right on him. He just got it into the corner. And now here's Timmins keeping the puck in. One of the Kraken fell down. Timmins with a shot. That's blocked. Cleared high to the left wing boards. And the Kraken will get it out at center ice and into the lead zone. Drop pass now for Tobin, and a shot. Rang off the goal post. And out comes Nylander. Right wing side and in. Nylander driving but can't get around the defense of Borgen. Good hit by Pacioretty again. And the Kraken will have the puck in their own end with 3:34 left in the period. Leafs have added 2 in the frame. and have a 3-0 lead. Down into the corner then for Ekman Larsson in the Leaf zone. Got it up on the wing, but unable to play that was Nylander with his skate up against the boards. Riley trying to add support in there. The puck comes free. And we got a penalty coming here. Willie Nylander is down on the ice. And both doors are open, so I don't know who's getting this.
Closing his hand on the puck.
Oh, Nylander. Is it Nylander for closing his hand on the puck?
Couldn't make out what he was saying, but
Neither
we've
could I, but
yet
no one's
to
gone
see
to the
anybody
bench.
coming over.
No. Well, we'll sort it out when we come back. 3-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite.
What's up, insiders? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's Halloween. The Leafs, the Kraken. What better opponent for Halloween night, huh? I love it. Thank you all for being here. Please hit that like button down below and help us bring more Leafs fans here into the chat on TSI. As well, please share the link. Leafs fans, this is how we bring more Toronto sports fans to our amazing community, is by liking and sharing this out, because when YouTube gets external clicks from these link shares on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, they love it. And they send more people to find our awesome community and help us keep growing. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Let's have some fun tonight. No tricks, just treats. Let's get the W.
You more NFL action. Get inside the huddle with live event-driven markets on the pulse. Check out trending bets on our new Parlay Hub, or stay locked into your same-game parlay with player prop tracking. Get more from NFL Game Day on FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. Please play responsibly. 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. Visit connectsontario.ca.
Willie Nylander gets the penalty for closing his hand on the puck. Now, it was probably in self-defense because he was lying on the ice. People are whacking and slashing at him.
I give the referee credit. Tell you, there's a 5-man scrum in the corner, and he's able to pick out that Nylander closed his hand. Boy, that would have been very brief.
So the Leafs win the draw. Marner skates out and launches it high out and down the ice. The penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Second period brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian Ultra, Export, or XL, there's a Molson with your name on it. Here the Kraken bringing it in over the line with Eberle. Pushed back of the net for Tanev. Tried to one-hand it down the boards. That didn't work. Marner in against the wall. He's knocked down on the play. Tanev against the boards. Got it back of the net and quickly set out and down the ice by Jake McKay. Minute 18 to go in the power play. Leafs are getting a wholesale change of penalty killers. David Camp out there along with Matthew Nyes. Brought on by Eberle. Eberle drops it back onto the left wing now for McCann. Jared McCann lost it. Cleared out over the line by Nyes. And the Kraken will have to go back to reorganize. Evans taking his time as he comes to center. Punches it around the boards into the Leaf zone. Nyes couldn't get to it. Down the boards, McCann loses it. And it is David Camp sending it the rest of the way, and he scampers to the bench. Wholesale changes as far as the penalty killers are concerned once again. 34 seconds left in the infraction. Leafs penalty kill came in to the game, ranked 14th in the league. And across the boards for Stevenson. Over on the right wing side. Gets it back again. Stevenson down the right wing boards and into the corner. Stops it up. Sends it around back of the net. Tanev got there first but couldn't clear. It's chipped off the boards and then stolen back by Steven Lorentz. Down the ice it goes. Fourth change on this penalty for the Maple Leafs as it goes down into the Toronto zone. Ekman Larsson to the left wing side. Penalty is over. Nylander's out of the box. Got the pass across the line. Nylander closing and shooting, and it was blocked. Plays it around back to the net. Matthews let it go to Riley. Riley back to the net for Marner. Marner for Matthews. Couldn't poke it free. Matthews now pries it free and gets it back to the blue line. Over it goes to Riley. Now to Matthews in the slot. Wrist shot coming off a stick high into the near corner. Would have been a high stick making contact with it, says the official. And it was the Seattle player who did it. So there will be a face-off coming in the Kraken zone to the left with 46.1 seconds. Plenty of time for another Leaf goal since there was about 3 seconds left when they opened the scoring at the end of the first period.
By the way, with the 2 goals, it's the third time already this season Nylander has hit the 2-goal mark. And this is the 5th game that he's gotten a point. He's had 5 multi-point games this season.
And how many hat tricks does he have?
1 career.
1 career hat. No?
And that was in 2017.
That's right. Yeah, we brought this stat up a bunch of times this year,
I think
haven't we?
Twice already this year.
Played down into the Toronto zone and an icing waved off by the linesman. And Marner finds some open ice and takes it back behind his goal. He'll get it off into the corner. 16 seconds left. They'll have to hurry to get another one in the way they did in the first period. And there doesn't appear to be any interest in really pushing things as it deflects into the Kraken zone with 4 seconds left. Cleared down the ice. And time will run out.
By the way, the Nylander hat trick, the official date, February the 4th, 2017, on the road against the Boston Bruins.
So, a 3-0 Toronto lead to take to the dressing room. The Kraken have outshot the Maple Leafs 20-19. But a pair of goals from Willie Nylander and a single tally from Matthew Nyes on a 3-game scoring streak have the Leafs out in front. We'll step aside as Anthony Stewart joins Jim Taddy. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday, November 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern. And while the nation is running to the polls, your favorite NFL team is running to the phones. Who's staying? Who's on the move?
We're not going to just make a move to make it. It's got to be the right guy.
SiriusXM NFL Radio is your home for the latest news and rumors.
This trade is a huge upgrade over what they had.
Nobody covers the trade deadline like our experts on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them. Because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM. And
what's up, insiders? There we go. Got to fix the camera there so the green screen, you know how that stuff works. David Chimenti in the chat. What's up, David? How you doing? Bradley Thomas as well. Good to see you, Bradley. Johan Yotun, what's up? Paul Roberts, good to see you. Brenda J. Hey, Brenda, great to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us and this awesome gang of people we've got here on TSI. Guys, I just pinned it in the chat again. Go subscribe. If you are a Leafs fan, go subscribe to Leafs Jelly HD. All right, that channel is awesome. Joe Bowen is timed up on the highlights perfectly. Go get over there and hit that subscribe button right now. Let's send as many insiders as we can to go show some love to another awesome creator here on YouTube. With that being said, the Leafs, gotta love it. Willie Nylander stood up. He said, I want my playing time back. He came out publicly, he stood up, and he didn't start the game out well. I wasn't impressed with the effort there at all in the beginning of the game. But he turned it around, second period, 2 goals, love it, great stuff. And hey, Willie, get it, man. That's how you back it up. I love to see it. There you go. What's up, Stefan? How you doing, my man? Good to see you tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Mark Duffney, TSI, I want a hoodie like yours. Mark, I went to the website that I ordered all of these from, and it looks like they're out of them. So I can see why. It's the fall, and everybody loves Joe Bowen because he's the best damn announcer in the world. So there's that, right? I mean, I grew up listening to Joe when I was living in Florida because my dad decided to retire early. And here I am. Here I am listening to Joe Bowen still today with I got the game on the TV upstairs while I'm handing out the candy and everything. Love it. Joe, thank you for bringing me to Leafs Nation and keeping me with Leafs Nation. Being a transplant throughout all over is now here in Chicago. But, all right, guys, let's get back to the intermission show. Refill those cocktails. Thank you for the donations. Alice to SickKids, thank you for finishing off that. I have to remember tomorrow. I already told Jordan this morning that I was closing it off today, but then I forgot because I've been really, 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 really busy at work and life. And it's Halloween, right? Elizabeth in the chat. How you doing, Elizabeth? Good to see you. Happy Halloween. I got to go back to being a Halloween dad and watching the game upstairs. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Leafs, go!
An officiary first of the Pacioretty effort, but what a great play by the former captain, John Tavares.
And that's why we're 3-0 Leafs over Seattle after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 is brought to you by 241 Pizza. Give yourself a high five. Buy any large traditional pizza. Get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for $5 each. 241pizza.com. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Welcome back to Scotia Arena. And Stu, I want to go to that second Nylander goal because to me that's all Tavares.
What an amazing play. That rebound off of Pacioretty and him holding his ground, falling, and making that second effort, from his knees, making that backdoor pass to Nylander. So it's safe to say Nylander's been the backdoor bandit this season, but it's great to see the chemistry that the second line is building right now. They had 9 points as a line last game versus the Winnipeg Jets, 5 points tonight. But let's not discount Pacioretty and the work that he's doing in the corners, doing it going in on the forecheck. So it's great to see because right now they're just starting to build their chemistry. I'm excited to see now, game 5, game 10, game 15 together because they're now showing, regardless of who the top line may be, they're getting that chemistry and they're showing up every single shift. They've been the go-to factor and the go-to line so far through 2 games with this Maple Leafs together as a line.
I mean, I was drawn in maybe 20 seconds before with Tavares and his physical play. I mean, he's really solid on that forecheck, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think that's an underrated part of his game where he understands the sort of the tone and really believing in Berube's system. And he's just coming in straight line hockey. It's not over complicated, getting in there, and it really wears down the D. And when you wear down the D, because if they're getting pounded every single shift and they're coming in waves, it opens up the ice to make those skill plays, those behind the back plays like Nylander did on the entry there to Pacioretty. So for me, it's great to see right now because it's almost a blend. Yes, they are playing that simple game, but when they're below the dots, they're making those highlight reel passes, and their skill is starting to take over.
I noticed the fourth line as well. I mean, they're playing a really good game, aren't they?
Yeah, and for me, it just starts with that straight line hockey, getting pucks below the dots, establishing not just a forecheck, but typically as a fourth line, when you don't have that skill, you just throw it away, a lot of one-and-done plays. But what they're doing is they're holding on to it, they're cycling it, they're wearing down that opposition, and most importantly, they're getting to the net. That's what I can see with Joey Daccord. When they're getting waves, he's now stuck sort of behind in his crease, and he's not really settling, and that's when those rebounds come, or that's pushed back, and you're able to make those backdoor plays. So right now, it's a team game. Yes, the second line is getting all the highlights, but all 60 are going. They're activating. I noticed Timmins that period as well, getting in on some of the rushes as well. So it's a good team game. And in an 82-game season, you need some easy wins. And through 2 periods, they seem like they're just cruising through it. And so far, so good.
They're dealing the cards. I mean, there were some moments there where Seattle had them hemmed in, but the Leafs are playing their game. Let's go to the Leaf goaltender. I mean, last week at this time he was debuting. It looked like his first game in a while. A little loose in terms of the pucks hitting him and ricocheting and rebounds. Tonight, Wall is solid.
He's tracking pucks really, really well. I noticed a couple shots. He fought through traffic and directed it to the corner. So it just seems like he's just, I use it the CCC, calm, cool, collective. And I think it's a little bit premature to say he's looking like the Joseph Wallace old, but he's showing trends towards that. 20 saves through 2 periods. And for me, it's just the calmness. You can sense the calmness. He's not panicking. He's not swimming around in the crease. He's playing a simple game as well, too, but it just shows the strength of this defensive core where he doesn't have to make the second, third, or fourth saves like he's had to do in previous seasons. So as great as Wall's playing, you got to give some credit to the defense as well. They're playing some solid hockey, too.
So, I mean, even though there was a win in Winnipeg on Monday, I'm willing to go back to the Monday before against Tampa, where the last time we saw the full Maple Leaf roster complementing each other. Would you agree with that?
They are, and they're taking away time and space. They're closing out. They're not afraid to make hits. Pacioretty had a couple big hits as well, too. You're seeing McMahon getting involved in the physical play. So to a man, we talk about playing the system, but they're trusting the system. And for me, Matthews and Marner, they got caught in their zone for about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
There was no panic. There was no pizzas up the middle. They just played their position, stayed in position, waited for an opportunity, got the puck out, and got a change. So that's a plus for me. That's a net positive as well. But it's a good team game. It's not just one guy. I know Nylander has the 2 goals, but everybody to a man is playing some solid hockey tonight for the Leafs.
Well, it really sets the table when you score with 5 seconds left in the first and, $1:39 into the second. You're up 2-0. That's got to take some starch out of Seattle.
It does. All we do is need a power play goal here, and then I think we hit the trifecta. But again, the special teams have been special. Yes, they're 0 for 1 on the power play, but the penalty kill's been a perfect 3 for 3 as well. So all around, if I'm Craig Berube in that period, hey guys, just keep your foot on the gas. You don't need to sit back, but just be mindful of the F3D, mind your pinches. But just keep getting the pucks out, clogging up the neutral zone, and don't turn it into a track meet. They've done a pretty good job so far through 2.
I mean, that is the key. Just do what you're doing, right?
Just do what you're doing. But, but again, another goal. If they score here, it's a different story. But for me, it's trending to a good positive outcome for the Maple Leafs tonight.
So it's 3-0 for Toronto over Seattle after 40 minutes of play. Nyes in the first period is 5th. Nylander is 7th and 8th. 1:39 of the second. 9:24 of the second. And Wall has stopped all 20. Those are your basic storylines in that 3-0 lead. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
People sometimes ask, sure, you can consolidate people's debts using telekinesis, but what else can you do? As if changing lives isn't enough. Well, I can also use my power to make it rain hot dogs. It's still not as cool as consolidating debts into one easy payment, though.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deets.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
The Heart and Stroke Lottery $20,000 VIP bonus deadline is November 15th. Play to win over $4 million in prizes, including 2 grand prizes of $1 million. Visit heartandstrokelottery.ca. Lottery license RAF 1406458. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
There's a place where it's all happening. A place that's rebuilding its economy by connecting northern mines with southern manufacturing might. A place with over $44 billion in new investments in the first electric vehicle and battery plants in Canada, where more people are working today, taking home bigger paychecks. That place is Ontario. Learn more at ontario.ca/rebuilding our economy. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
right, Sarah. We're down to the final question. What are the two things that create the ultimate internet experience?
The fastest speeds and the most reliable connection, Bob.
Correct!
Get the best of both worlds with Bell Pure Fiber, the fastest and most reliable internet from just $60 a month. Visit bell.ca/fiberbeatscable to learn more and check availability. Bell, internet just got better.
Ever wondered what's actually below your lawn? Buried power lines are closer than you think. One wrong move with a shovel could be disastrous. Always locate lines for free before you dig. Your life depends on it. Visit hydro1.com/yoursafety to learn more.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town to find a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have. Into the third period now. Flyers 1-0 over St. Louis. The Leafs are in St. Louis on Saturday. The Bruins losing 6-2 to Carolina. That's in the second period, late stages of. End of the second, it is the Ducks 1-0 over the Penguins. After 40 minutes of play, Montreal and Washington tied at 3. End of the first, Oilers 2-1 over the Predators, and getting set to start at 10:30, Chicago and San Jose against the Sharks. In our game, it's 3-0 for the Leafs over Seattle after 40 minutes of play. Nylander with 2 on the game, 8 on the season. This is Bulls of Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
To win your fantasy football league, you need to be one step ahead of the competition. And at SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, we're giving you the edge you need to take home the trophy.
There are no tight ends that you can count on. We will tell you who to start.
Our experts are doling out start-sit advice, waiver pickups, and so much more to help you win a championship.
Just because you're allowed to make a waiver move doesn't mean you have to make a waiver move.
Listen right now on Channel 87 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
The Leafs carry a 3-goal lead into the third period as a pair of goals from William Nylander and the 6th goal of the season for Matthew Nyes have built this 3-0 lead that the Leafs enjoy at this point. They have been outshot 20-19 on the contest, and Joseph Woll has staked his claim to his best outing so far, although it's only the second one after coming back from injury, but looking more like Joseph Woll that we saw last year.
Yeah, the Leafs have been much better. I don't believe they've given up an opportunity off the rush yet. And Woll probably saw 8 or 9 of those in his first start against the St. Louis Blues a week ago. But he has been out and sharp. But the Leafs have done a pretty good job of keeping everything to the outside. A couple of in close now. Seattle, remember we made mention of it at the midway mark of the second period. They were up to 19 shots. They finished the period with 20 shots. So Leafs did a pretty good job, even while killing penalties, of keeping the opportunities against to a minimum.
Kind of chuckled during the intermission. Basil McRae came by and said, I could have scored those 2 goals that Nylander got. And I went, wait a minute, Basil, you remember I watched you play.
Then if you watched him play, you shouldn't have been mocking him.
No. Well, it was from long distance. I had people in between. I think I would have been okay. The scrum would have been fine.
I actually played with Chris McRae. You would have called
sure.
Chris's games with the Leafs. And the other brother, Phil, I've gotten to know over the years.
Nice. The McRae family. Face-off coming at center ice. Leafs to the right. And the Kraken to the left. Cameron Moore running the operation. Matthew Cardadero and Josh Lippa keeping us on the air. As the puck is dropped and we're underway for the third period. Tanev steps up and launches it down into the Seattle zone. Back after it is Adam Larson. Puck turned over. Unable to get to it was Marner. Now he does have it handed to him as he gets it back to the point. Shot taken there by McCabe was blocked. And now here the Kraken getting it out on the left wing with a pass on the right side for Everly. His shot was blocked by a sprawling defender. That was Marner, who's limping a little bit off that right leg. Played around the boards and back into the near corner. Marner trying to tie up Jordan Everly, and he's managed to poke the puck free. Nyes tried to backhand it out, but wasn't hard enough, and it doesn't clear. Kept alive now by McCann. Over on the left wing, and a long shot went wide, and a big rebound, and Nyes just needs to get to center, and he does. Dumping it in and heading to the bench. Tavares trying to get it ahead, and Pacioretty turns the puck over, but now Tavares backhands it right back into the zone. Nylander looking for his second hat trick of his career. Got it freed up. Tavares gets it back to the point. Riley with a shot. Oh, and that just missed the far post. I don't think the Cord saw that till he heard it off the end boards. Seattle getting it ahead, and out at center is Schwartz. In on the right side, turned over there by Pacioretty. Quickly ahead for Willie. Nylander turned the puck over, though. Here's Bjorkstrand working in, and off the shoulder of Wall. Good save made there. That was an odd man rush. Now another shot. This time is deflected and has gone up into the screen and out of play.
Boy, Willie Nylander, as much as you love what he's done offensively, we've seen this a few times. I mean, most recently in Boston, that cost him a goal in the second period when he fell just inside the Leaf line, or just inside the Bruin line. And here, he tries to circle back at center ice, gets stripped of the puck, and fortunately, Joseph Wall bails him out.
Pass in front of the net, deflected wide of the Leaf goal by the Kraken. Oleksiak getting it around into the far corner. McCabe, or at least Timmins, breaks up the rush. And it's poked out at center ice. And now Robertson shoots it into the zone. That went off the stanchion, came right out in front of the net. And no one there to do any damage with it. Long lead pass goes down into the Toronto zone. A delayed offside in effect. And the Leafs will play it out at center. Benoit chipping it ahead. Domi knocked it into the zone. McMahon into the forecheck, couldn't come up with it. Robertson steals it back. And Domi has it at center. Now for McCabe in on the left wing. Rung around the boards to the far corner. Tanev for Seattle couldn't get it up on the wing. And Yanni Gourde now turns back with a pass ahead at center. In across the line, Brandon Tanev of Seattle. Round back of the net. The younger brother couldn't get to the loose puck. Older brother is out there against him. And around back of the net, the Leafs come away with it. David Camp with a nice little move to find Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg in on the right side, driving the net, goes around back of the goal, centered. And it went off a stick, and Lorenz couldn't get there in time. Back to the point, Ekman Larson to Riley. Dropped now for Pontus Holmberg, who played it around back of the net. Lorenz after it, getting it back to the blue line again. Ekman Larson to Riley. Into the slot, a drive. Swallowed up by DeCord as Pontus Holmberg let the shot go from the top of the circles.
Boy, the fourth line has had some moments tonight, haven't they? You said originally Nick Robertson was on the fourth line, but very early in the game, Craig Berube makes the switch with Holmberg and Robertson. Robertson moving up to the second line for the Leafs, or third line. But this fourth line sent some great pressure. And I love Holmberg on the wraparound zone. Just get it into the crease. And hope we can jam in a rebound or get an ugly one. Yeah.
Yep. Draw one by Seattle, but overskating the puck in a centering effort by Nyes. Behind the back pass, it didn't work. And Seattle will send it down to the Toronto zone where Christopher Tanev is circling, having difficulties handling that puck. Got away from the checking of Jared McCann, but then the puck comes back, and it is cleared out in center ice by Marner. Now brought back in on the left wing by Beniers. Played around back of the net. McCabe to Marner. Just launched high on the backhand into neutral ice. Seattle goes back to it. Pass ahead. Marner rubbed out Beniers with a good hit. And Matthews thinks twice of going to the defenseman until he finds Marner. And now Marner is going to wait for teammates to get on side. And then a change coming as it's cleared into the corner. Tavares couldn't come up with it. Good hit by Pacioretty in the forecheck, but Larson for Seattle. Back in over the line for Schwartz. Pass intercepted, then Schwartz stole it back from Nylander. Back behind the net, Burakovsky. Andre Burakovsky to the point. Long shot is deflected in front of the Leaf goal and went wide. Seattle after it again, but an errant pass gobbled up by Nylander. Launched high to center ice. Seattle backpedaling with Borgen. Playing it around behind his own goal. Coming up on 5 minutes played in the third period. Still 3-0 Toronto. Borgen and across the line, dropping it back to the blue line. McMahon couldn't get it for the Maple Leafs. Here the Kraken with a centering pass comes back to the point. Just kept in there by Borgen. And now an errant pass will be gobbled up by the Leafs. And Ekman Larsson's pass for Domi is knocked away. And Burakovsky gets it right back in over the line. Fleury trying to center. That pass is intercepted by Toronto. And Domi with skating room to his liking on the right wing gets in over the line. Only to have it poked away and set out at center ice. McMahon can't help out, but he does check Burakovsky from getting over the line. And now the Leafs have it out at center ice. And nice play by Robertson. Some in tight stick handling there, wasn't it?
It's a pretty spectacular dump in.
Long shoot in, goes to the side of the Leaf goal. Tanev around on the wing. Rink wide pass. That springs McCabe. Jake McCabe in on the wing. A weak shot was well wide of the goal. Mahura for Seattle plays it out. And Tanev trying to stretch things out. Goes to the far side. And it'll be played ahead just out of the reach of David Camp. Seattle regrouping in their own zone. Brought on by Tolvanen, and it's going to be whistled down offside at the Toronto blue line. 13:39 to play in the third period. The Leafs nursing a 3-0 lead. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this NFL season.
The young gunslinger in Texas, C.J. Stroud, takes his
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Happy Halloween from Toronto Sports Insider. The Leafs and the Kraken bringing the heat. What's up, everybody? It's TSI Mike. Please take a minute to hit that subscribe button down below and let's have a fun Halloween. Don't forget to turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto sports game, as well as a lot of other sports action, like the World Series that we did last night. Having a ton of fun with over 17,000 people in the chat hanging out with us while the Dodgers wrapped up the World Series. Thank you for helping me create this awesome community. Please share the link and let's have some fun tonight on Halloween. Parents with the kids, be safe out there. Make sure your kids are safe. Check that candy. Let's have some fun tonight and enjoy the holiday. Back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Thank you for being here, everybody.
radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The neutral zone brought to you by Alpine Credits. You own your own home and need a loan, Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca. I think one of the costumes was a Super Dave Osborne.
Yeah, showing them all up on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I will say this. I mean, whatever anybody wants to do is fine, but I really do hope these are just costumes for one night.
Oh, good point.
These,
yeah, if you kind of go overboard a little bit, it's...
well, I mean, if this is everyday wear and you're being shown on the scoreboard.
You're going to have to go and see HR.
Some of these.
Super Dave, I'm sorry. Leafs clear it down into the Seattle zone. Nylander cycles it back behind the net for Max Pacioretty. Pacioretty banks it back to the blue line, and it bounced over Timon's stick, and he's got to scamper back into his own end. Plays it off the end boards to find defense partner Benoit. Got it ahead, and Domi got it out over the line. Or at least Tavares did, and now Nylander closing with a little stutter step. Looks for a man in front. Into the point it comes with a change of players coming on, and Jake McCabe couldn't get a shot away, and it's cleared high by Seattle back into Toronto territory. Long up for Matthews. Matthews stops up. Now he's going to swing it around the boards for Nyes and Marner. Marner returns the favor to Matthews at the near half boards. Back behind the net for Marner. Back to Matthews. Wraparound attempt didn't work. Comes back up on the wing, and Jordan Everly will get the center and play it down into the Toronto zone. Chris Tanev playing it along the wall. It comes back to the point. Larson with a shot blocked. Gets it again. Larson against the boards. Nyes ties him up. Matthews with the loose puck. Plays it into the slot area, and McCabe takes it to the side of the net and plays it ahead for Nyes, who bank it off the glass to center ice. Matthews unable to track it down. Brought back in by Beniers. Sends it into the corner. Morgan Riley around the boards for Marner, chipping it ahead for Domi, sent to the left wing side. Leafs can't come up with it, and the Kraken will regroup it back in their own zone. Leafs had 19 shots in the first two periods. They've had 2 here. Here's Domi in over the line, can't get a shot away. Given to Bobby McCann, and McMahon's shot was deflected wide, but a penalty coming here to Seattle. Down into the corner it goes. Domi stretching it out. Pass back. And that's gone wide and down into the Leaf end. That could have been a tad bit dangerous.
It's happened before.
Yes, it had. Well,
a few goalies have gotten credit
Utah's
for
very first goal.
Yeah,
right?
It was an own goal.
An own goal. Interference call. Sending the Leafs to the power play for the second time in the contest. And the power play is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Larson gets the penalty.
Oh, and Nick Roberts went down on the first cross check, got up. Larson said, well, if I'm getting a penalty, I'm going to do it again. And then gives Robertson a second shot, put an exclamation mark on it.
Second unit starts. Domi to Ekman-Larsson. Near side for Nylander. Nylander holds. Top of the circles. Cross ice pass for Domi. Got away from him. Cleared to the line, but Domi intercepts. Sends it back of the net for McMahon. Up on the wing for Nylander. Back to McMahon, who goes back to the goal. Into the corner, far side for Domi, back to the point to Ekman-Larsson, doesn't shoot it. Ekman-Larsson into the slot area, Tavares, now to Nylander, across in front, and trying to stuff that in was McMahon, but it just went wide. Here's a cross-ice pass for Domi, and a shot, he hit the goal post. Nylander, top of the circles, still with it, trying to find an opening. Goes to Ekman-Larsson, back to Nylander up top. Nylander, cross ice for Domi. Domi looking down low, a centering pass. Blocked. Nylander can't get to it. It'll come to the line. Just kept in. Ekman-Larsson along the boards for Nylander. Back to Ekman-Larsson. Cross ice Domi. Domi, Nylander, near point. Working into the circle. Still with it. Nylander still getting it back into the slot. Tavares, a shot went wide. Chopped at by Seattle, but not cleared. In against the boards, it comes into the slot. And finally shot down the ice by Seattle.
I tell you, Max.
Minute 18 into the power play.
Max Domi's shot, it came off the crossbar as hard as it hit it. It was like he hit on a wild stick.
So you think it's a defective puck at this point? In across the line comes Marner. Played into the corner. Pacioretty getting it back for Marner. Marner tried to make a pass, had it blocked. Now he does get it back to Riley. Cross ice for Matthews. Doesn't shoot it. Back to Matthews again with a shot. Big rebound. Oh, and a chance Pacioretty had. And it was blocked in front of the net by Yanni Gourde. I think Pacioretty fanned on it a bit too, did he not?
Yeah, didn't get it in a great position, but you like the fact that Auston Matthews, I mean, he fires it towards the net from the right wing circle, but it's low blocker, far side. And I don't think he's trying to score, Joe. I think he's trying to produce that rebound that Pacioretty almost was able to capitalize on.
The bottom line is the Leafs are 0 for 2 on the power play and 1 of their last 18. But they lead 3-0 on 3 5-on-5 goals. Holmberg got it into the zone, but not deep. Brought back now by Bjorkstrand. He's going to send a long shoot in on Wall, who drops it off, and the Leafs are going to play it to the line and just get it out. Seattle trying to work back in. Down 3-0. Long shot taken down by Wall. The rebound got away from him for a second. But Joseph Wall is able to get the glove on it and stop play with 8.5 minutes to play in the third period. The Leafs 3, the Kraken no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
For the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight on Halloween for the Leafs and the Kraken. The Create 100K campaign for SickKids has reached its conclusion. Last night on the World Series game, we picked up 4 new donations to SickKids Hospital. It's dreams come true over here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the coolest thing in the world. I talked to Jordan at SickKids this morning. We're starting to put together the plans for our next big campaign in the winter. Big focus on the Leafs and doing it again, having a lot of fun. We are over $4,000 raised already towards SickKids as a community. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for letting me create this and helping me create this awesome community and do big things for SickKids Hospital, which is near and dear to my heart as well as I know all of yours. Let's get back to the hockey. Thank you all so much. Cheers. Go Leafs, go.
1.5 minutes to play third period. Joseph Wall has faced 23 shots. The Leafs now with 25 on Joey Decord.
And both goaltenders have been solid too. Decord has come up with some big saves. Remember the one-timer late in the first period?
There's a turnover and a centering pass that was blocked by Wall. And Nyes gets it ahead to Marner. Marner chipping it into the right wing corner, and Nyes goes in there after it, taking his man up against the boards, but the puck squirted free. Matthews back on his skates after being knocked down, can't come up with it, takes down Eberle, and the puck comes out at center ice now for Beniers, who'll get it across the line and into the Toronto zone. Reversed there by Marner, but centering pass hit the back of the net. Eberle after it on the far half boards. Back to the point. Near side for Larson. Larson shot in traffic. Blocked in front of the net. That broke the stick of Jake McCabe, who blocked another shot. Benoit on back of the net. Pokes it ahead, but Nyes couldn't get it out. Timmins will send it back to his defense partner. They'll try the other side to Marner. Marner got it ahead for Tavares. John Tavares in on the wing. Tried to make a move around the defense. And it's cleared by Seattle out and down the ice. Icing indicated and called by the linesman. I don't think we've mentioned that Derek Nansen and Jonathan Deschamps are the linesmen tonight. Michael Markovic and Eric Ferlat are the referees.
You know what that means? They've been okay tonight. We haven't mentioned we haven't mentioned them a whole lot. Leafs actually are on a pretty bad streak. In a game in Winnipeg where Leafs took the first 2 power plays of the night, and then it was all Winnipeg power plays after that.
Played off the boards and into the Toronto zone. Riley ringing the boards to find Tavares, who just tips it out at center. Chandler Stevenson goes D to D, and the Kraken trying to get it in over the line. Bounce it into the left wing corner. Centering pass in front, and a wrist shot by Cale Fleury went high over top of the net. Now Pacioretty is away on the right wing. One hands it ahead for Willie. Nylander in on the right side. Oh, and that was ticketed for the top corner. But the glove of Joey Decord snapped out there to make a pretty good save.
Well, and John Tavares was in behind the defense as well. If there was a rebound, Tavares was wide open in front of Decord. They said Joey Decord's first ever win came in a surprise start as a member of the Ottawa Senators against the Leafs when Matt Murray got hurt in warm-up.
Draw one by Toronto. Benoit, weak shot, blocked. He gets it again, backhanded it towards the net. And a glove save made by Decord with Robertson hovering around out in front of the net.
Joey Decord now has played more than Philip Grubauer, who is a big signing for Seattle to shore up their goaltending coming over from Colorado. Joey Decord has now played 3 more than Grubauer in the early going.
And Grubauer's 1-3-0 with a 3.10 goals against average. So this is becoming more merit than anything else, right?
Apparently Jeremy Swayman yanked tonight in a loss against Carolina.
There's a loose puck in front of the goal and a wrist shot by Robertson deflected wide. Domi blocks a puck back of the net, centered in front. Robertson's backhand trickled wide, wrapped around the tip. Domi couldn't jam it past the court. Another shot by Robertson went wide. Seattle gets it out at center. Cartier sends it around back of the net, stopping up there. Brandon Tanev taken to the boards by the Leaf defense. The puck sent around the wall. It comes back to the point. Larson keeping it in, only to have it blocked by Bobby McMahon and set out at center ice. Boy, each line has had its
moments,
hasn't it? Really has. Long shot, glove by Wall. Eye high. He'll stop play and bring a face-off in the Toronto zone when we return. The Leafs 3, the Kraken no score. 5:34 to play in the third period. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Ho, ho, hold up! It's Jimmy Fallon, and you're invited to my place for Christmas. Get ready for a new channel of classic holiday songs handpicked by me. Simply having a wonderful Christmas. Plus music.
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks for hanging out with us tonight during the Leafs and the Kraken matchup. Now's the time to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Time to put that flag emoji out there for your country, city and state, city and province. Let us know all over the world where Leafs Nation is hanging out together right here on TSI. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for participating in the chat and firing it up. Now let's cheer on our buds and get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you in the chat.
do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Face off to the right of Joseph Woll. 5:34 left to go here in the third period. And a 3-0 Toronto advantage. Nyes with his sixth and third in as many games. Nylander has 2 more again as it's cleared out and down the ice by the Kraken. And now goaltender DeCord is out of the net. So Dan Bilesma trying to catch some lightning in a jar here. Here the Kraken in over the line. Matthews line on the ice. Marner got it freed up. And dribbling it out at center was Matthews. He didn't get much on that, but it was headed for the empty net. Seattle dropping it back for Jordan Eberle. Long shoot-in. Kicked away there by Wall. Puck on the boards as it comes back to the blue line. Fed in, goes high off a stick and into the screen, and a face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the right. And the Kraken trying to get on the board here with 4:52 to go. Boy, this was just never a situation in the old. And I really think it was Patrick Waugh who started this.
The early pull,
yeah. The early pull. And
yeah, now mind you, I mean, it's 3, but he was doing it if you were down 1.
Yeah.
He'd do it with 4 minutes to go.
Draw scrummed in the Toronto zone. Grabbed off by Domi. Domi trying to play it ahead. Nylander! Shot wide! Domi was looking for him, wasn't he? Here the Kraken back at center. Stolen again. Nylander got a lead pass and gets it in over the line, but is too well covered. Domi steals it again, trying to look in front. Now David Camp for Domi. Domi getting it back to the blue line. To Nylander. Holding. He doesn't shoot it. Willie working on the near board, surrounded. Got it into Domi. There's no goaltender, and the Leafs are in the offensive zone. Domi has it pinned up against the boards. Camp trying to help out. Willie is stationed out in the slot, just praying for a puck. He got it, but then couldn't shoot it. It bounced over his stick. Riley will shoot it at the empty net. That's blocked. Boy, they tried.
Boy, but how about that? The Leafs down 5-on-6. Controlling the play in the Seattle zone.
Played back into the Leaf end. Around the boards it goes to Beniers. Back to the point. Here Seattle holding. Hits Evans with a shot. That's deflected wide. On the near boards it comes back to Evans at the point. He walks the line. Dishes off for Tolvin and a shot. They score! Tolvanen with the wrist shot to end the shutout bid of Joseph Woll and get the Kraken back into the game with 3:28 left to play. So all of that down in the Seattle zone when they couldn't get a shot at the empty net.
The thing is, if you do that, Seattle goes back to putting their goaltender in and you ride out the rest of the game 5-on-5. Now you've got some work to do. And a great screen shot from the high slot, but Tolvanen was allowed to walk in. We saw this early on in training camp, Joe, where the Leafs were giving up opportunities from the point, but the defensemen were allowed to walk in 15 or 20 feet. Tolvanen's a forward, but still got all kinds of time and space to walk in and pick a spot through a screen on Joseph Woll. The way Woll had only one career shutout into this moment. That was the first shutout ever at the new arena in Long Island.
That's the fourth goal scored with 6 attackers on the ice by the opposition. Goaltender to the bench again. 6 attackers for Seattle once more. Tanev against the boards, swung around the wall. It's going to clear and come out at center. Chopped down into Seattle territory by Nyes. Bjorkstrand starting back. 2:49 to play. They get it into the offensive zone. Seattle trying to set up. Puck comes around the boards to the near side. Grabbed by Gourde. Gourde on the wing, pushed in by Bjorkstrand. Centering pass comes in front of the goal. Broken up by the Leafs. Off to Matthews. Knocked off his stick. Matthews just needs to get it out, but couldn't. Now it's grabbed off by Riley and played to the line, but not out. Back into the corner. The Hornets' nest continuing. Schwartz up against the boards for the Kraken. Trying to dig it free. Ekman Larsson ties up his man. They bang along the far wall. Fallen player on top of the puck is Eberle. Pinned there by Ekman Larsson. They continue to slash, hack, and whack, but the puck won't come free, and when it does, it's right up against the wall again. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Marner doing a great job as the puck comes to the line, but not out. Stolen by the Leafs. Matthews doesn't shoot it at the empty net, now tries to bank it and scores! Don't play billiards with that guy. That was a great bank shot and in.
You have to call it first?
I think so.
It was as if Matthews had just had enough. Had enough of the scrums, had enough of trying to break out of the zone to get a shot at the empty net. So he gets it just outside the Leaf blue line. There's traffic between him and the empty net. So he says, to hell with it. I'm going to bank it off the left wing boards right near the center ice red line and let it carry him. I mean, this is almost perfectly in the middle of the net.
It was.
Matthews, his rookie year, scored his 40th.
So at the next face-off, does he get a little chalk and just kind of chalk up the stick a little bit there?
That was, I mean, it was just one of those things that you knew it was coming. He threw it hard enough to score. This wasn't just
get rid of it.
Get rid of the puck or we'll take the icing. I mean, this was calculated.
5th of the year for Auston Matthews. After Tolvanen from Evans and Beniers had gotten the Kraken on the board. So the Leafs are going to try to finish off their 6th win of the season, their 4th on home ice, and improve their standing in the Atlantic Division. Pacioretty gets it down into the Seattle zone. Tavares trying to dig it free. Has it back of the net. Saucers off to Nylander. His wrist shot deflected wide of the goal. Kraken starting out with a pass up on the right side for Beniers. Beniers trying to get a shot away. Had it stolen back by McMahon, who plays it ahead for Robertson. Robertson beaten to the puck there by Jamie Oleksiak. And he'll get it off the boards to center. Benoit played it back, and Domi brings it back into his own end. Thinks better of that to play it ahead. But it's going to be an icing call here against Toronto with 26.9 seconds left to play.
Now this hopefully spells the continuation of something in the right direction for the Leafs after that a 3-game blip where they seem to lose their intensity, starting with the loss against Columbus and St. Louis.
Teams come into the game with identical records of 5-4-1 for 11 points. Face-off win by Seattle. Shot deflected wide. Chopped at by Robertson. Couldn't get it out. Back to the point. It's going to come to the line. Robertson got a piece of it, but Domi helps out. He'll play it off to the defense of Timmins, who gets it ahead. Final 10 seconds left to go in this one. Domi sending it back into his own zone, and time will run out. A performance by all four lines. And a goaltender that looked very steady in this one.
Yeah, and that's what we said. And I think what you like about it, the Leafs built the lead in the second period. And by our humble estimations, only gave up 5 shots the second half of the game. As I believe they were like 20-19 or 20-18 for Seattle with about 9 minutes to go in the second period. So the Leafs, even while protecting the lead in the third period, only gave up 5 shots on goal to Seattle. And a big part of that time for Seattle was with the goalie pulled and the extra man out. So the Leafs did a very good job of protecting the lead, and I thought protecting Joseph Woll, who looked sharp out at the top of the crease and ready, but maybe just the one odd man rush for Seattle in this game, which would be a big improvement over what Joseph Woll saw a week ago here against St. Louis.
3 stars? Oh, let's just pick 3 stars. Give me 3 stars.
Joseph Woll, I think... wait, I was going to say number 3. We'll slide him up to number 2. Willie Nylander's the first star. Let's go Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner made the great play to Matthew Nyes. Nyes and Matthews are very close, but we go Nylander, Woll, and Mitch Marner in this one from a Leaf standpoint.
Matthews gets the empty net goal. It's unassisted. And the Leafs win it by a score of 4-1. Tim Taddy along with Anthony Stewart and Mr. Ralph along with the post-game show. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
We are 8 weeks into the fantasy football season, and whether your team is in the race or ready to make the greatest...
What's up, Insiders? Yes, Leafs win 4-1. We get it done. Love to see it. A great night for the Buds. Tonight we had a feeling it would be a great night. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween to all of you. Rodolfo, cheers to Chili. Mark Duffney, great game. We'll see you next game. Oh my God, when is the next Leafs game? When is the next day Leafs game? Saturday, right? We go Saturday night. Hockey night in Canada. Absolutely love it. All right, I got to take this thing off. This is ridiculous. All right. Whew. Halloween is over. Thank God. Time to put the candy away, too, because, we got way too much candy. Way too much. Big shout out tonight to all the super chats. Big shout out to all of the Leafs fans here in the chat, hanging out with us, having a great time. Lots of fun. David, Stefan, Patrick G. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, turn on the setting for the memberships to be able to accept gifted memberships. Go into the YouTube settings in the app. I believe it's in the community tab. You can accept membership gifts because I am going to gift 10 memberships, maybe even 20. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I'm thinking maybe even 20. We're going to give 20 memberships at the end of the postgame. So we're going to let the postgame run for probably another 30 minutes to an hour. Depends on how long they let it run. And then I will add those memberships in, switch the screen over to the ending soon, and be out of here for the night. I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted. It was a long, long day at work. It was a long month here on Toronto Sports Insider, but the best month we've ever done here on TSI. Life-changing type of month here for this community because I can't wait to make that next SickKids donation when we get all of our ducks in a row. We're going to do something special. I've got some things in the works right now for a really, really special campaign that hopefully will get out there really, really big for SickKids. So let's have some fun with that. Enjoy the post game, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good start to the weekend. If anybody's taking a sick day from Halloween, eating all the candy, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. Good night.
To in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding neat stuff is going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
This is Leafs Game Night.
on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Final 10 seconds left to go in this one. Domi sending it back into his own zone, and time will run out. A workmanlike performance by all four lines, and a goaltender that looked very steady in this one.
And Joe Bowen and Jimmy Rouse summing up 4-1. The Leafs win over Seattle here at Scotiabank Arena. Welcome to the Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart and Ralphie, kind enough as he always is to hang around for the first segment of the post-game show. And Ralphie, you guys summed it up. That was a really solid effort, top to bottom, and that includes the goaltender. Yeah, it wasn't anything spectacular. I think the team was much better in front of Joseph Woll tonight than they were a week ago. Kept a lot to the outside, but it was one of those games where you really needed 3 or 4 key saves at the right time, and he delivered for them. And there was nothing that went in that you thought, oh no, this could be a turning point. That was a soft one to give up. I mean, he gets beat on a screen late in the third period, but boy, the Leafs have a tough time defending when they've the opposing team has the goalie pulled, right? Winnipeg scores 2 the other night, and Seattle probably could have had enough chances to cash in on more than one tonight.
Well, I don't think they completely took their foot off their gas. Maybe just a little bit of a downshift, but great game by William Nylander, scoring his 7th and 8th goal of the season. Just talk about the chemistry that he has with Pacioretty and Tavares, and he only played 17 and a half. Do you think that's a good sweet spot for him, or do you need to see him with some more ice time?
Well, I think if you asked him, he'd like to be in the 18 to 20 minute club, but obviously, and as Craig Berube has said, he doesn't kill penalties. That's where Marner and now Auston Matthews and even Matthew Nyes are picking up extra minutes, is on the penalty kill. And I think part of it, Stewie, is I think what we're seeing early on, because that's 11 games for the Leafs now, and Nylander has points in 5 of them. So he's got 5 multi-point games, 6 games with us. I think we've seen the best and worst of Willie Nylander so far this season. You see that dominance where you can have a 2 or 3 point night and have a huge impact on the final result of the game, or you see, and we saw this again tonight, the turnovers, trying to do too much when there's not the time and space to do it. And we saw it even though he fell in Boston when he was trying to maneuver inside the Boston blue line. That led to a Bruin goal. We saw tonight led to a chance off the rush when he tried to make something out of nothing. So you're sort of getting both sides of Willie Nylander here in the early going, but I don't think there's anything too concerning for Craig Berube.
Let's go back to Woll. A week ago tonight he was making his debut performance, and it looked like a guy who hadn't played for a while, just because that's how you look when you play your first game. Tonight, a week later, without any action in between, pretty significant uptick.
Yeah, but again, I'll still go back. St. Louis must have had 9-10 chances off the rush, and I think it was just the one chance off the rush for Seattle tonight. Might have been 2, but it wasn't that steady stream. And even the St. Louis game, Jimmy, you remember he stopped a breakaway when it was still, I believe, 3-1 in the third period. He came up with some big stops that if they were able to come back, we'd be talking differently about his performance. But yeah, there seemed to be more of a comfort level. It's hard to believe his only shutout in the league came in the second game when he played in New York against the Islanders, and that's a season he played 4 or 5 games and has his only shutout. We know he lost his shutout and hurt himself at the end of Game 6 against the Bruins last spring. So even though shutouts are nice, the important thing is the win for him and to get that confidence and get the confidence of the coach. There's still, a new coach is coming in. He's evaluating the goaltenders. You see what he's done to the lineups up front. He's not afraid to take guys in and out of the lineup. And I'm sure the goaltenders are no different.
2 assists for John Tavares. He now has 3 goals and 5 points in 2 games. Is it safe to say he's solidified that number 2 center spot, or is it too early?
No,
too small of a sample
I think he's
size?
there, Stewie. And I still, there's so many little things he does that to me says, wait a minute, he hasn't lost a step. He is still, the second setup on the goal of Nylander. Battle in front, find a way to get control of it, and on one knee, find Nylander. It might have been as much good fortune as it was great execution. But that's John Tavares, right? I mean, that's that win those battles, the great work in front of the net. So, I think it solidifies it, or at least takes the talk out of we need a number 2 line because you've already got your number 2 center.
While we're on that, I mean, Max Domi played a heck of a game tonight. It's hard to believe he hasn't scored.
Yeah, and the shot that he had that hit the goalpost or the crossbar, I mean, that was one of those where it came off the bar as hard as it hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like he there was an elastic on it, and it just snapped off the crossbar. I think he was early December last year when he scored his first goal as a Leaf against Boston in this building. So, but the bottom line is, whether it's Bobby McMahon, whether it's Matthew Nyes or Pacioretty, as long as it's somebody on a different night, and I think if they all buy into that, where it's not necessarily about who gets 30, who gets 40, let's find a way to win. And I've actually loved Auston Matthews' play, because even though the goals aren't there and the points aren't there, it's not a slump. I mean, the work ethic is there at both ends of the rink. And to me, he is coming across as somebody that's saying, I really don't care about point totals. I'm sure he does to a certain extent. I know, because he's going to be questioned on it all the time. But he looks like somebody that's more concerned about winning, far more about winning than he is padding his own stats to get those wins.
5 goals in 11 games. I don't know what kind of slump that is. I wish that's a season for me, but that's neither nor there.
That was a period for me.
I know you mentioned, it's a team effort. You don't want to quantify anything, but is it too far to get ahead of the Matthew Nyes conversation, just sort of what you think his ceiling is? And again, I think for him, it's not going to be about points. It's playing that Craig Berube hockey, up, down, getting pucks in deep, crashing that net. But I think he has the ability maybe to score 25-30, and he's well on his way to doing that.
Well, we've talked about it early in the year, and it's I don't want to make it like an I told you so thing, or hey, look at me. The comparison was made because of who he's playing with and because of his size and his strength. So look at what Zach Hyman has done in Edmonton. I mean, there's a guy that's playing with very skilled players all the time, and I know this year it's been a difficult start for him. But you go to the net, and I bet you Matthew Nyes, the average distance of all of his goals is about 5.5 feet, because everything has been around the front of the net. The rebound goal in Winnipeg, you saw a broken play right in front of the net in Boston. He's got a decent shot, his good hands, but boy, you're playing with Matthews and Marner. You go to the net and you win your space. You're going to get your goals. And so when, as far as the ceiling goes too, I mean, when you look at what Hyman did by playing that way, create a little bit of space when you're on the ice with Connor McDavid, get some power play points. That's going to be the big difference. That if Nyes is not going to be a regular with Matthews and Marner, and we have seen them split up, that's going to be the difficult thing. I don't think he's going to get 15 power play goals on the year, but I really do believe that if you get that kind of confidence, you go to the net and Mitch Marner will find you, or you will find an Auston Matthews rebound on your stick. And so I think a 30 to 40 goal range is easily within reach for him.
Well, I think you'd agree. It's a better line with him. Without him, then all of a sudden the Matthews and Marner totals are going to be where they were before, but the line won't be as good.
Well, yeah, there's much more balance in it. And, you kind of forget, what's he at now, 7 already or 6?
I guess
6. He had 15 last year. So I think that's one of those things where you look and you say, yeah, we'll take a double or triple goal total every year from this kid.
Ralphie, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, boys.
Leafs went up by a score of 4-1 over visiting Seattle. This is Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
This is the sound of an exciting Black Friday sale. And this is the sound of an exciting Black Friday sale at Sleep Country. Black Friday just isn't the same at Sleep Country, except for the best deals on the best brands. Buy one, get one free on best-selling pillows, hottest prices on all Simba mattresses, and queen mattresses starting at only $479 until Sunday only. Plus, take advantage of our unbeatable price guarantee. Don't miss out. The Black Friday event is on now at Sleep Country. Speak to a sleep expert for full details.
Touchdown.
Great catch.
Give me a high five.
5 minutes later.
Interception.
Awesome play.
Give me a high five.
2 hours later.
Eddie, did you order 20 high five specials from 2-for-1 Pizza?
You kept asking for high fives.
I meant, never mind. I'm hungry.
High five. Buy any large traditional pizza and get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for just $5 each.
For a limited time, switch to Shopify Point of Sale, and you could save up to 20% and improve your bottom line. Shopify is so serious about savings. They've made this commercial 20% shorter. That means you get 6 seconds back. Here it is. Just enough time to visit shopify.com/POS20. Now that's an efficient commercial.
Eligibility requirements apply. Details at shopify.com/POS20.
Leafs game night live from Scotiabank Arena. Look, it's a Zamboni race after the game, Stu. Don't think I've ever seen that before.
I think the blue one's winning.
Yeah, that's right. They're both blue. Nice try. 4-1 Seattle loses to the Toronto Maple Leafs. At least for 40 minutes, dominant. Got a little sloppy in the third period, but they were so far ahead it didn't really matter, did it?
Yeah, I said they didn't completely took their foot off the gas, but they downshifted a little bit too much, a little bit choppy. Puck sort of getting, stuck in the neutral zone, not getting it deep. It caught for extended shifts. But again, it's a 3-0 game. It's still early in the season. You're still learning the system. But at no time in that game did you think it was going to be Seattle getting back into the game. No. Yeah, we saw the 6-on-5. I know they stacked the lines and mixed the lines up a little bit. But, for a situation like that, I think they play a good enough team defense to a man that you don't necessarily have to stack a line. So I know they were trying to get Nylander that open net goal as well too, but again, all around solid defensive effort, both ends of the puck, and their skill took over. So I think that's the key, trusting that system and saying, hey, we're going to play a good 60 minutes, a good fundamental game, and then when the skill kicks in, that's when we take over.
Post-game comments brought to you by Honda. Score a $1,500 Honda bonus on the CR-V LX. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com. John Tavares on the team's performance tonight.
We maybe weren't as quick out of the gate as we were the other night, but I thought we built our game well. Obviously, big goal at the end of the first by Auston's line. Was huge, I thought, and brought some more life to our legs, and just kind of staying with it. I don't think we gave up a ton. PK did a really good job. Joe was great. So just a good, solid team effort. I don't think it was anything was outstanding, but just really solid in all areas.
Do you see really on that play, or just have an idea that he's there?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a guess. You just, as the play's developing, and then you kind of get into that spot, you kind of have an idea where guys might be, and you just try to put the puck in a good spot, and if it doesn't work out, at least it gives you a good spot to work to earn it back. But the way the play kind of developed, I thought him or Patch would have kind of drifted to that side, and happy it worked out.
Well, his ice time has been a bit of a talking point. What have you made of his season up to his ice time has been a bit of a talking point, down a few minutes. What have you just made of his season up to this point?
Well, I think he's playing great. Obviously, he's producing really well, and he's always pushing to be better, and obviously wants to be a key contributor in all areas. So, he's grown a lot and become a big leader for us in a lot of different ways, obviously, in the way he plays. But I think he's been great.
Why do you think it's clicked so well for you guys together?
I think there's a real good familiarity, at least with me and Willie, obviously playing a lot together over the years, and then just Max being a high-end player. He's had a great career. He's talked about how he's feeling the best he has in a long time, and has proven he can play at an elite level, and understands his game really well, and then I think thinks the game at a high level, and we've been able to play off each other really well, and have a good feel for what we do, and when you get the instincts and reading off one another, it goes a long way into making plays and playing quick and creating opportunities.
Do your kids have any hockey themed Halloween costumes? Do they go as
No, they were.
Okay.
We had a firefighter and a police officer today, and my daughter was a unicorn, so far from it. But I think they were more excited about that than the game today. So.
Oh yeah.
Just about Joe, he wasn't happy with the way last season ended, and obviously this season's been the injury. What stood out to you about how he sort of is able to battle through and push through tougher moments?
Yeah, it's not always easy, especially things that are out of your control. And I think as diligent as he is and how he takes care of himself and how he tries to prepare and be on top of all things, he's, I think, had a real good approach to just controlling what he can and focusing on the next day, the next opportunity, and then maximizing that. And this is all part of, I think, the process for a young goalie. Not that I can speak to what it's like being a young goalie, but any player that goes through things, especially when they're, breaking into the league and establishing themselves, you go through different things that you'll learn and mature from, and I think there's no doubt stuff like this he's doing and staying focused and knowing obviously his ability and what he can do, and it was great to see him have a really good night tonight.
John Tavares after the 4-1 win over Seattle here at Scotiabank Arena. This is Leafs Game Night, TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray. With Jared Goff and Bill Belichick, Coach, what do you see in the evolution of Jared's game?
Accuracy and decision-making. I mean, that's really what quarterbacking is.
Those guys protect me. Those guys run great routes. I'm delivering it on time and accurately, and I'm just trying to play disciplined football, and I think I have. And guys are making catches, and things have been good these past few weeks.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Scotiabank Arena, Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Just a few minutes left to wrap it up. Solid performance. I thought it was a continuation on of the good moments from Monday night.
Yes, it's funny. We were sitting here, I think, just about a week ago, thinking the sky was falling in the town of city of Toronto. But it's funny, just to put things in perspective now, that win tonight now puts them 2 points behind the Florida Panthers for first in the division. So, again, they control their destiny. But for me, it was just about building those positive habits, playing Craig Berube hockey, simplifying their game, and their superstars stepping up at big, big moments. And you saw that with the Auston Matthews face-off play with 5 seconds to go in the first period. You saw Pacioretty making some big plays, but Nylander putting that puck in the net, almost getting a hat-trick this night as well. And a confidence-building game for Joseph Woll. And for him, he was solid. Didn't need to be spectacular, but every game that he gets some rhythm underneath him, gets back to Joseph Woll of old, and it starts with a good solid win tonight, his first of the season.
And oddly enough, I think maybe the seeds for this go back to it's the historic loss in Boston, where everybody just gets caught up in the history lesson, but there were some moments in that game that you could see leading to this.
Yes, and I forgot all about that Boston. That's how you deal with the Boston curse. But and I think the Leafs fans are rejoicing. I think they lost 8-2 tonight to the Carolina Hurricanes, but that's neither here nor there with Toronto. It's just playing their game, And when you play that style and you buy in, you see it. You see it where there's waves and everyone's coming, first, second, third line, coming out, fourth line, coming out of the gate, playing simplistic hockey, heavy hockey. And when you do that, it wears down the opposition and it leads to positive outcomes. So, yes, they had chances that didn't go in the net. The power play still has yet to score, but some good opportunities there. So just building towards being consistent and getting a team identity. And there's been a lot more positive than negatives in building that identity so far early in this season.
Just a quick thought, a couple of seconds. I mean, that power play's knocking on the door, isn't it?
It is, and I noticed the big shot from Matthews on the flank there, but I noticed in the third period he took a little off it and did that Kucherov slap pass, so I could see that being an added tool in their box there and scoring some goals. So I counted, I was hoping for 2 tonight. We'll see next game. Hopefully they'll get 2 next game.
Yeah, I'll go back and erase that yes guy, no guy from earlier today.
I forgot guy.
Oh, no guy. Stu, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Always great working with the Tap Man.
I'm gonna copyright that. That's good stuff. Leafs Game Night, TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Back to tie it. Now you've got Game 7. Take us back to your greatest remembrances of, again, almost letting the series slip away and then having that opportunity in Game 7 to come up big, which you guys clearly did.
Well, it just goes to show you that we felt back in 87, we were really at the peak of that team in some ways. Some people think 85 team was the best team ever. 87, I think, was probably the most talented team. I think 85 team had a better overall record. I think it was 16-1 or 16-2 in that playoff year, 87. We got tangled up against Philadelphia, but we felt we're a better team. But sports isn't about who's a better team. It's about it's about the belief system inside the dressing room. And Philadelphia wouldn't quit. Mike Keenan wouldn't allow the young Philadelphia team to quit. They were kind of banged up. They had some injuries, but they were able to extend the series after what we thought probably should have been maybe at least 4.
What's up, Insiders? Brad, Stefan, Richard, David, Klomp, Lisa. I see you guys still here. Thank you for still hanging out with us. We still have 600 people in the chat, a little under 600, 594 right now. So we're gonna let the post game keep on running here for a little bit while I get ready for bed, and then we'll gift those memberships out here in a bit when this is done. All right, back to the hockey. Thanks for hanging out and waiting. Appreciate it. Click an ad while you're at it. Helps us grow our community.
Past, we felt incredibly confident that if we went out and played our best game and Philadelphia went out and played their best game, our best was going to be good enough. But even with that, there was so much uncertainty. And sure enough, we were able to win our third cup in 4 years, which was quite an incredible feat.
That was Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers, Mark Messier, on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin on Channel 91.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, October the 31st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Anaheim Ducks. Penguins on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 941. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Seattle Kraken. Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Kraken on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Washington Capitals face the Montreal Canadiens. Capitals on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 950. Canadiens on Internet 934. 7 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes face the Boston Bruins. Hurricanes on Sirius 211, XM 222, and Internet 924. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers face the St. Louis Blues. Flyers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 940. Blues on Internet 944. 8 p.m., Nashville Predators take on the Edmonton Oilers. Predators on XM223 Internet 935, Oilers on Internet 930. 10:30 p.m., San Jose Sharks take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 942, Blackhawks on Internet 925. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, October the 31st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Anaheim Ducks. Penguins on Sirius 209, XM220, and Internet 941. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Seattle Kraken. Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Kraken on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Washington Capitals face the Montreal Canadiens. Capitals on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 950. Canadiens on Internet 934.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
New York Rangers legend and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, to share what it was like to play in the 1994 finals with the New York Rangers, as well as ending the 54-year drought for the franchise and how that team represented what a hockey team is all about.
Well, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about 1994 as well. You mentioned Mike Keenan. We spoke with him in studio a couple of weeks ago. He still speaks so highly of you and of that run. So take us back to ending the 54-year drought. In Game 7, you get a power play goal. You shovel a puck underneath of Kirk McLean. Stands up as the game winner, as it turns out. So take us back to that hot, steamy night. What was it, June 14th of 1994 at the Garden in New York?
Just, I guess just starting, going to the rink, trying to keep your same routine. Brian Leach and I would always drive together down through Times Square, down Broadway 7th Avenue to take a right-hand turn on 33rd Street. And you could feel things were different, even from the Upper West Side. Just the vibe and the energy of the whole city was just electrified. Getting down towards Madison Square Garden, seeing the crowd already starting to build, the police officers surrounding the Garden. It was a carnival-like atmosphere. Obviously, we knew we were something on the cusp of doing something that hadn't been done in 54 years. The magnitude of it was palpable. I mean, the energy, just everything just seemed to be so electrified. You try to keep yourself in the moment. You try to stay with your routine. Obviously, there's much more at stake. And then, we found ourselves, much like we did in 87, up 3-1 in the series, losing to fifth game, where it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that New York Rangers were finally going to win a Stanley Cup after 54 years. Only to find ourselves, the party atmosphere got a little bit delayed and then had to go back to Vancouver, which again, we got trounced in Vancouver, just like we did in 87. And now we're coming home for Game 7. And the same thing happened. It just, we felt good about our chances. We felt we were a better team than Vancouver. We felt that we should have wrapped up the series earlier against Vancouver, but that's the greatest thing about sports. You can think all you want, but the reality is, they got a heartbeat over there too. They got pride over there too. They're there for a reason because they're a great team. And here we are in Game 7 and happen to go out and execute a great game plan to beat a very hungry, very young, very physical, hard team to play against in Vancouver. And luckily for us, we had a lot of experience. We had a dynamic, incredible amount of talent with Brian Leach and Sergei Zubov, Alex Kovalev, Adam Graves and Mike Richter and net, and then sprinkled in with some veterans, some hardened veterans with McTavish and Tikkanen and Steve Larmer and Noonan and Mateau and Jeff Bukaboom and Jay Wells and all the amazing players that banded together that year to create maybe not the most skilled team that's ever won a Stanley Cup, but if you look up the word team, they could put the 1994 Ranger team right there, and that year, that team epitomizes what a team is all about.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's Sirius XM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, October the 31st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Anaheim Ducks. Penguins on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 941. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Seattle Kraken. Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Kraken on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Washington Capitals face the Montreal Canadiens. Capitals on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 950. Canadiens on Internet 934. 7 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes face the Boston Bruins. Hurricanes on Sirius 211, XM 222, and Internet 924. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers face the St. Louis Blues. Flyers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 940. Blues on Internet 944. 8 p.m., Nashville Predators take on the Edmonton Oilers. Predators on XM 223, Internet 935. Oilers on Internet 930. 10:30 p.m., San Jose Sharks take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 942. Blackhawks on Internet 925. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, October the 31st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Anaheim Ducks. Penguins on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 941. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Seattle Kraken. Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Kraken on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Washington Capitals face the Montreal Canadiens. Capitals on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 950. Canadiens on Internet 934.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Six-time Stanley Cup champion and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier stopped by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin to discuss what Game 7 means to him and what it's like to also lose a Game 7.
Well, when you think about the two greatest words in sports, you think about Game 7 for many reasons. Obviously, to get to a Game 7, both teams obviously very evenly matched from the literal sense, the Game 7. You don't have to be a sport fan to understand that something's big at stake and that you will go watch it even if you don't know the teams, you don't know the players, you know the backdrop, because it's the greatest form of reality TV in the world, because there is going to be a winner and a loser. A lot at stake, obviously. But for me personally, it's a lifetime journey to acquire the skill set that's required to be able to perform when the stakes are the highest, under the most scrutinized pressure, when you're expected to perform. And you think about a Game 7 moment or Game 7, that's when you have to perform. It's a winner or go home situation. And what are the skill sets that are required to do that? Obviously, we've practiced our game and honed our skill set for years and years and years, tens of thousands of hours of honing our skills. But emotionally, mentally,
what's up, Brad, Stefan, Brenda, hanging out, waiting for these memberships. You guys rock. We still have 207 in the chat, so I'm gonna put the stream ending soon video up here so that hopefully some more people will go night-night that aren't the true insiders waiting for so patiently to get a membership. Sorry for the super close-up here, guys. I'm used to being back here a little bit where I fit better in the camera, but I want to type up some stuff here and add some cool things to want to get some the screen to cover when I gift the memberships so that it'll pop up on the live here where all the names are right over there. So yeah, just talking, bro. I love it, man. This is great. This is what we do. Talking Leafs hockey an hour after the game. It's a beautiful thing. Toronto Sports Insider. That's what we do here. Toronto Sports. That's how it started. That's how it'll end one day. But who knows when that'll be. Hopefully never. But, there you go. There's Richard. Richard, man, I see you, man. Richard, stay strong, bro. It's coming, man. It's coming. I'm going to talk to you for sure. I want to definitely chat with you a little bit, Richard. All right. I'm putting this stream ending soon thing up to get some more people. There we go. We're under 200 now. And then we'll give some memberships in about 5 minutes. All right? 5 minutes. Hang tight. I'll be back right here.
Failure, both as a team and as an individual. If I had my preference, I would have liked to have learned those lessons while I was winning, but unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. But I look back at it now and just think about how grateful I am for all the lessons in wins and the losses, because it really ends up defining who you are as a person and as a player.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, October the 31st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Anaheim Ducks. Penguins on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 941. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Seattle Kraken. Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Kraken on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Washington Capitals face the Montreal Canadiens. Capitals on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 950. Canadiens on Internet 934. 7 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes face the Boston Bruins. Hurricanes on Sirius 211, XM 222, and Internet 924. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers face the St. Louis Blues. Flyers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 940. Blues on Internet 944. 8 p.m., Nashville Predators take on the Edmonton Oilers. Predators on XM 223, Internet 935. Oilers on Internet 930. 10:30 p.m., San Jose Sharks take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 942. Blackhawks on Internet 925. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, October the 31st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Anaheim Ducks. Penguins on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 941. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Seattle Kraken. Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946. Kraken on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Washington Capitals face the Montreal Canadiens. Capitals on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 950. Canadiens on Internet 934.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers, Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on the morning skate for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 to discuss the pressures of Game 7 after having played in 9 Game 7s himself, winning 7 of them, and how you can either thrive under pressure or crumble underneath it.
I almost look at Game 7s, Mark, like I do overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs or overtime in any sporting event where you've got so much pressure on you and every play gets magnified. Could you, during the course of your career, and you don't have to name names, but could you look around the dressing room or could you look on the opposing bench and could you figure out those that wanted to be the hero and those that just wanted to avoid making the mistake? I mean, was that plain for you to see that there were those that wanted the puck on their stick with the game on the line that could thrive under pressure, and then you had the opposite as well?
I felt myself in those moments there defaulting to the more defensive side of the game. And then I played with my right winger who I won 6 Stanley Cups with, Glenn Anderson. He was the kind of guy that was trying to, really drive hard offensively and take the game and try to score the winning goal. And we're on the same line. Maybe that the difference of us in our mentalities worked perfectly. But everybody's wired different. Everybody's got fear, failure, The best have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to internalize those feelings, but you can't let them paralyze you. And it's for me, going into a Game 7, I allowed myself to visualize what if we didn't win, leading up to the game, and then slowly as you get closer to the game, you allow yourself to kind of push the negative feelings aside, and you start to fill yourself up with all the great things that are going to happen and what you need to do to execute the game plan, and of course ultimately to seeing yourself holding the trophy. And then as the game starts, all the negative and the positive go away, and then you drill yourself down into just executing the game plan, and you don't think about the what ifs and what should have been or what could have been. You just really kind of play in the moment, and I think trust becomes a massive word when you think about it. Can I trust each one of the players that are going out there?
All right, insiders, are we done waiting or what? I'm done waiting. I can't stay up anymore. Fix the green screen there, make it look all cool and professional. All right, if you're here with me, say hi in the chat. If you're watching this and you're still in the chat, let me know. Say hi in the chat. I'm going to give this a minute here before I click the button to gift the memberships. But there's Lisa. I love it. Lisa's here. She's ready. We're tired. There you go. Hi. All right. Love it, Lisa. There you go. Brad, just an idea. Not sure about the copyrights. Could you pipe in the post game instead of listening to Messier? LOL. Yes, absolutely. I could do whatever I want here. That's the one nice thing about radio. There's Richard. There's Stefan. I love it. Look, the radio is over the air broadcasted. So the legalities and the laws that are in place do protect the fact that it is over the air available to anyone. Hence why radio is not able to be copywritten. So that's what we do here. And, people look for the live streams. That's what they want. But they get sick of finding these, look at this link, click this link, go get a virus on that computer. I did it for years, guys. That's why I created what I did. All right, let's give some memberships here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And yes, it is live, Brad. That's the key. It's live, because if you're not live, it's done. So right, exactly. It's not reproduced. It's fully live. Boom, boom, boom. You got it, man. All right, here we go. We're gonna buy 20 memberships here. We are finishing off. There's TSI Allison. I love you too, babe. Thank you for believing in me, babe. With this whole thing. I mean, this is just crazy. Just crazy. I am so excited for what the future holds together, babe. We're going to have the best friggin' life in the world together, me and you, with these babies. Man, it's awesome. All right, here we go. Time to buy. Oh, God, now we need my password? What the hell? All right, let's see. There it goes. All right, we are successful. Who do we got? All right, let's see him come up there. Coins making sense. No effing name. I wish you the best, guys. I had a dream too. Love it, Brad. Don't stop, man. You never stop. You just do not stop. Never give up on your dreams. As much as people may tell you you're crazy, as much as it doesn't seem like it's working, as much as you think you're failing, you never fail. You just keep going. That's all. It just matters on how much you keep going and go get it, and believe in yourself, and find something that you have passion in and you believe in truly, and you're there. All right, there you go. Maggie Gaming in the house. What's up, Maggie? Good to see you, dude. And we got a whole bunch of memberships going out here, but we got Dagger Cards doing big things for SickKids Hospital out in Ottawa. Thank you, Dagger, for being a member here. And Chris Koch as well, Bandit, Larin, Draganian, Imperium, Russell, Wojchovich, Bugs, Zeph Gaming. That's not 20. Night before I start doing YouTube for 365 days straight, says Maggie. Dude, that's awesome. Send me a link, and I will go hit that like button and say what's up there. There you go, Vince A. Hi, Vince. Good to see you. Yeah, I know. So does Stefan. Steph, there's got to be something on. There's got to be something on your account that's not working right, brother. Because there ain't no way. Because we haven't given out 20 memberships yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's only 10. It only announced 10 in the chat. So, I don't know. But with that, I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed. Lisa, Stefan, Maggie, Vince, Richard, Babe, all of the new members, Brad, Brenda, thank you all. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for sticking it out. I hope that maybe once I shut the live down here in a few minutes, it will kick out the other 10 minutes. Oh, here it comes. The Johnny Midnight gets one. Here we go. There's one. Stefan says, good night, everyone. All good. Good night, my man. Have a good one. Good night, Lisa. We'll see you. We'll see you on Saturday. Yeah, don't leave yet. No, and now it's Johnny Midnight just got one, but they're still not pumping out yet. There you go, Brad. No, thank you, dude. Thank you for finding us, and thanks for being here. Yeah, TSI Allison says 9 more should be coming. All right. I guess I will let it run then for a few more minutes with the ending soon in there, and then I'm going to bed, and we'll see who the rest of the memberships go to afterwards. Oh, there's Woodworker 818 got one. Chris Tinku got one. Mimi got one. Jackals Freudstein got one. SOP Mike, that's me. I got one. All right. Adam Wolf got one. Pete Falcone. Joe Howland. Joe R. Congratulations. Joe R. I actually think that might be the Joe that we know there, babe. I think that might be JoJo there at FGCU. What does SOP Mike mean, Maggie? All right, before I shut this down, I'll let you know. So last night I did the Yankees broadcast because so many of the Yankees fans were whining and complaining that they wanted to listen to Sterling and Susan, and they were the best, and they didn't want to listen to the LA Dodgers radio, but the LA Dodgers radio was winning the polls by a lot. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put it on my old soccer channel. So this all started, guys. I started a podcast with a buddy of mine at my 9-to-5 job that I'm still at. And we started a soccer podcast, talking to each other on Monday nights, drinking beer, and just talking soccer. And it has led to this. So here we are. And it's funny. I was actually just talking to him the other day. So SOP is my other channel, Sons of a Pitch, Soccer Central. So you guys will see the mix of those two as I pick up more on that channel. All right, everybody. Yeah, babe, I'm coming. Good night, everybody. Thank you all. Great night. Leafs win. Happy Halloween. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
XM 222 and Internet 924. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m. Philadelphia Flyers face the St. Louis Blues. Flyers on Sirius 208, XM 219 and Internet 940. Blues on Internet 944. 8 p.m. Nashville Predators take on the Edmonton Oilers. Predators on XM 223, Internet 935. Oilers on Internet 930. 10:30 p.m. San Jose Sharks take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 942. Blackhawks on Internet 925. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trapp.